Over the past 36 hours, the United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now it was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building, all in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries. Last night, all over Iran, the voices of the Iranian people could be heard cheering and celebrating in the streets when his death was announced. The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives. They want immunity. They're calling by the thousands. Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. We have very strong objectives. They could have done something 2 weeks ago, but they just couldn't get there. Earlier today, CENTCOM shared the news that 3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. We pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case. But America will avenge their deaths and deliver the most punishing blow to the terrorists who have waged war against basically civilization. They have waged war against civilization itself. Our resolve, and likewise that of Israel, has never been stronger. America is now again the richest, most powerful nation in the world by far. But the only reason we enjoy the quality of life that we do and the freedom and security is we have done things that others are unable to do. But it's because of warriors who are willing to lay down their lives to do battle with our enemies. And they do battle better than anybody. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be a dire threat to every American. We cannot allow a nation that raises terrorist armies to possess such weapons that would allow them to extort the world to their evil will. Not going to let it happen. We're not happening to us, and we're not going to let it happen to others. The United States has the strongest military the world has ever seen. I rebuilt our military in my first term. There's never been a military like we possess. And frankly, there's nobody even close, but we are now using that military for good. We want to have it for good purpose. We're undertaking this massive operation not merely to ensure security for our own time and place, but for our children and their children, just as our ancestors have done for us many, many years ago. This is the duty and the burden of a free people. These actions are right and they are necessary to ensure that Americans will never have to face a radical, bloodthirsty terrorist regime armed with nuclear weapons and lots of threats. For almost 50 years, these wicked extremists have been attacking the United States while chanting the slogan, "Death to America," or "Death to Israel," or both. They are the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. We are the world's greatest and most powerful nation, so we can do something about what they do. These intolerable threats will not continue any longer. I once again urge the Revolutionary Guard, the Iranian military, police, to lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. It will be certain death. Won't be pretty. I call upon all Iranian patriots who yearn for freedom to seize this moment, to be brave, be bold, be heroic, and take back your country. America is with you. I made a promise to you, and I fulfilled that promise. The rest will be up to you, but we'll be there to help. Thank you. God bless you to our incredible warriors, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
The 47th President of the United States, ladies and gentlemen, President Donald J. Trump giving an update regarding the absolutely incredible operations that have been happening over in Iran right now. The end of the Islamic Republic is at hand. We are watching something taking place that should have been done in 1981. This should have been ended. This is the final legacy of President Jimmy Carter, who allowed all of this to go on in 1979. You're watching the breaking of the Red-Green Alliance for all time. We are watching the Arab Islamic occupation of a once proud people finally toppled, and this is a wonderful thing. We welcome all of you to Apostate Radio episode 45. This is a very, very special episode. We thank y'all for joining us tonight. We are joined by a lot of people already. I am Isaiah Carter. We're back after a couple of weeks. Was out of town last weekend, and I guess we'll talk about that towards the end of the show. To the right on your screen, my brother, my co-host, Nino Chavez. What's good, man? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well, brother. How you doing? I'm just happy that Ayatollah's gone, bro.
You ain't the only one. You ain't the only one. Imagine
how long you gonna have a thorn in your side, man? How long you gonna allow a thorn in your side like that? That kills Americans, kills troops, tries to assassinate the president, assassinate Pompeo, different leaders of ours. I mean,
the
a lot of blood in his hands, a lot of terror, a lot of prevented. Even Keir Starmer, even the socialist Keir Starmer, said that I think he said that there's at least 20 terrorist attack attempts that were that emanated from Iran, and that might have been before what's been going on now. I'm not sure or after, but it's like this is what they do. So why put up with it?
Yeah, absolutely. We got a lot of people in the chat, and I'm gonna tell you right now, they're people that I know that are mutual friends of mine and our guests. Let me just get to a few of these. Michael Lindsay, coming from the asylum. What's good? Drax. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for reposting the show. We appreciate you, dude. You are absolutely incredible. GG,
thank
you so much for reposting our show. Thank you. We greatly appreciate all of you. Y'all are great. Marie Isabella's already in here. What's up, boo? Thank you so much for joining us. We are very happy. Mrs. Ward 007 V2. Hi, everyone. Hands up for President Trump. Absolutely. I could not agree more. Michael Lindsay said, I'm glad I voted for him 3 times. And Monkey Trump 24. I know who that is. That's a great dude. He says, sub Isaiah and Nino. Let me just get the business out the way real quick. You can follow us individually. We are on X at Isaiah L. Carter or at Nino Chavez X. You can also check out the show. Our show page is at Apostate Radio NY. please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube and our Rumble channels. We would love to see you there. If you wish to support us financially, we really, really appreciate that, and need as much as we can for, I don't know, car repair, new undergarments for some. So
yeah, you know my story, man. You know my struggle.
Hell yeah. Buymeacoffee.com/apostate radio. And also Apostate Radio merch is now available at realtimeinc.com/collection/apostate radio. Also, you can contact, well, we also have a Venmo that you can send us ducats to. If you have $7,000 lying around, that'd be great. Apostate Radio at Apostate Radio NY.
We're still waiting for this Zionist shill money, man. So come on, I
know. James Lindsay didn't even get any, and he went over there. Like, what the fuck?
Really? Oh man, come on, guys, come on.
Oh my goodness, let's get to this. We got a special lady in the house with us tonight. I could not be more excited to welcome our guest. She is the host of the Daly Fix. She has a live show that I think it's like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on X, and also on YouTube, Rumble, all that good stuff. She is coming to us live from somewhere dark yet warm and sunny. And she couldn't be happier about it. You'll see it on her face. Ladies and gentlemen, Kay Daly, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm doing great. Yes, I'm coming to you live from the Caribbean.
Yes.
St. Thomas.
Ooh.
Yes.
St. Thomas, you said?
St. Thomas, yes. I know, somewhere warm and sunny and dark right now. Because what's the temperature out there?
Are you chilling outside?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
The ocean's right behind me.
That's great.
So, no, it's just about 78 degrees right now.
Listen, I'm in New York. It's right now. Let me see, what is it? It's 36 degrees out, and I think the highest it's going to be is 60s later on.
Oh, I don't do that weather anymore. No. When it gets under 80, I'm like, where's my blanket?
Oh man. See,
I am peanut butter and jealous right now.
My blood has thinned, y'all. My blood has thinned.
I'm not getting wood down there, Oh my God, we got so much to get to.
I know.
Kay,
just a little bit of news.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. Exactly.
Just things to touch upon. Yeah.
If you could just, I know there's a lot of people in the chat that know who you are already, but as this is your first time on the show, you could just give everybody a quick overview of who you are, what you got going on, and just tell the people who you are.
Well, first, I'm a wife and mother. I've been married for 30 years in December.
All right.
Yeah, I've got 3 beautiful kids that keep me young. Thank God for them. But I started in politics in 1986, y'all. That was my first professional job in politics, and spent a lot of time both in DC, in North Carolina, in Texas. I've worked campaigns. I do what's called crisis communications. And that's my specialty. So I've worked on judicial nominations. I've worked, with Hollywood, with CEOs, with folks in DC. I've worked on Capitol Hill, both the House and the Senate. So, yes, it's no wonder. I see in the chat, Master Shake, never heard of me. Not a problem, honey. There's a reason for that. Those of us who do communication stay in the back.
That's right.
No, I'm not on Little St. James. That's that way. That way. So, no, but I've spent 40 years on the political front lines. And what we try and do on our show is give not merely Fox News headlines, but actually talk about the process of the way DC works, why common sense goes to DC to die. And we try and demystify what the real reasons are for why some things happen.
Wow.
Why does common sense die in DC?
Because look, it's my contention that a lot of folks who should run don't, and a lot of folks who do run shouldn't. And they tend to get in this fishbowl there. They believe, their press releases, they drink the water. And, they forget who they work for. When I first started working for Senator Phil Gramm of Texas, he used to always remind us, remember, you work for the people of Texas. And that he beat it into us. So, but there are too few folks like that up there. So,
what makes them forget who they're working for? Do you think it's a lot of is it bribery, lobbyists?
No, it actually is just this sense of importance, and you get into this. DC has its own language. It has its own process of doing things, and you have a bunch of people around you who are sort of yes men. When I see people arguing about, should we replace John Thune? Should we replace Mike Johnson? Did it change anything when we replaced McCarthy to Johnson? No, it didn't.
No.
Okay, so same thing. When you have this small a majority in both houses, think of it. It's not the fish rots from the head down. It's from the bottom up. Okay, you have a bunch of problem children in the caucus. It's like herding cats on crack.
America's got a similar problem with the rotting from the bottom up right now. I think with the way that we're quote unquote educating our kids, in Marxist indoctrination, woke indoctrination, to hate America, to hate white people, to hate men, to feminism teaching women that they shouldn't get married or have kids, and it's patriarchy. So we have a similar problem in the entire country and in the West as well.
And they're not teaching history, economics, or civics. Okay, so you've dumbed down several generations, which makes them more malleable and more vulnerable to pro-Marxist socialist messages. So
we trained them to be Marxist activists.
Yes,
so that's the way they view the world.
Started early. With things like, you're going to write a little essay in elementary school about who your heroes are, but don't mention Jesus. So you're going to write an essay about some historical figure. Oh, okay. As long as it's not, I don't know, one of those founding father evil people. This is where it's gone wrong. And that's why I'm such a school choice advocate. So we can get back to teaching that. But then you've got Hollywood reinforcing those messages. And now we're so balkanized with the media into our own separate algorithms. And they support especially the leftists, with this notion of you are a better human being for what you believe. And that's a problem. They don't see all the news. I mean, I have to go watch things like The View. Say a prayer for me, y'all. I go watch stuff on the left just so I know what the message points are.
I do too. I do too, unfortunately.
I mean,
not everybody does. So.
Yeah. The thing is, they certainly don't.
No, they do not. The one thing that I've noticed, and I'm going to say this before we get into our first topic,
the right knows more about the left than the left knows about the right.
Yes, absolutely.
I have noticed this. It is so it's enforced. Okay. When I was on the left, and I'm a former Democrat. I was a Democrat for like 2008 up until about 2022. So that's 14 years.
Right.
I very rarely spoke to or communicated with anything or anybody on anybody who was a conservative.
Right.
Okay. I knew nothing about what they said. The only thing that I knew was whatever I got off of MSNBC and the few times that I watched CNN. They do not talk to anybody who does not agree with them. And even and the crazy thing is, and I learned this in 2020, after, because I voted for Biden, and that one of the greatest mistakes of my life. I noticed that even after Biden was installed, they still, if you were not ideologically orthodox at all times on any issue, on every issue, You were not. You were the enemy.
Why do you think that is?
They're very cult. It's easy to call them a cult. Okay, like you hear them all the time talk about how the right is a cult. It's all projection, right? What we're seriously dealing with on the left, in my personal opinion, based on my own individual experience, we are dealing with people who are obsessed with being liked, obsessed with being accepted as normal without actually being normal.
I don't think they're that obsessed with being liked, Isaiah, because they're not very likable. So I don't know if that's.
I think they are.
Yeah, maybe they think they are. I think they're. I think to what you're trying to. What your point is I think they're trying to, especially with the woke left, they're trying to show, like, they're trying to differentiate themselves with, the white racist, sexist oppressor, right? So that's why they come up with these non-binary identities, so they can be like, oh, I'm one of you guys. I'm one of the oppressed people. I'm like a gay person, or I'm like a trans person, or whatever, or I'm like a black person because I am because now I'm non-binary. Now I have like a special pronoun you have to use, and nobody accepts it. So I think and that's what you see from a lot of woke liberal white women. I think like they're very much like. I mean, that's why they trans their own kids. I think frequently.
Mm-hmm.
So. But I think your point, yeah, they want to be like, but they want to be out of that because they've been trained to think that, any white person is an evil person, basically, that they're part of the problem. So they want to make sure I'm not part of that problem. Everybody, look at me. I have a trans kid, and I'm actually, I'm actually gender fluid, or maybe I'm bi now. They always got to join the LGBTQ thing.
But you're right. But I guess, you know what? Let me put it this way. They want to be liked by their in groups. They want to be exalted amongst their in groups, their peer groups, while ruling over everyone else. That's what I've noticed. Okay, they will talk about,
and there's a moral hierarchy to your point
exactly,
too.
Yeah.
So if you could be part of the oppressed, then you're one of the good people, and if you're not, if you don't have any kind of oppression thing going for you. Even if you're like a fat person or something like that, that could be considered a new thing, or you're disabled or something like that.
No.
If you don't have anything going for you like that, like if you're an attractive white person or something, straight white person, then then you better figure something out. You got to come up with something fast. Otherwise, people are pointing the finger.
Really
Evan Barker says that too. Our friend Evan Barker, I don't know if you know her, but she was a Democratic strategist for a long time, and she said people in rooms and like with Democratic strategists and insiders would be talking shit about white people and white men, and like, you're a white male, so why don't you be quiet right now, like that kind of thing. But go ahead.
They really hate folks like me and Isaiah who are not part of their little cult. They can't stand any minority community or women.
We're traitors.
We're self-haters.
I'm a Latino guy, so they'll say things to me like.
Exactly.
Yeah, they'll be like, they're never gonna accept you, man. You're never gonna be white. I'm like,
no, I hate that so much. It's
I feel very accepted. I'm good,
bro. In-group acceptance is your thing. The friend-enemy distinction. That's you guys. You guys are obsessed with your standing within your
with groups. They like grouping people.
It's so pathological.
Individuals.
Exactly. Let's get to this first thing. Yeah. Because the president summed up in 6 minutes some of the most destructive military power I have ever seen in my life. Okay. And I'm talking like, it's almost as if the last 60 years of quagmire, of military industrial complex quagmires disappeared overnight. Ladies and gentlemen, the entire, and I mean the entire senior terrorist leaders have been taken out.
You won't be seeing them in World War III, man.
Nope. You've got names on here. The supreme leader of Iran out, done, gone.
And his replacement.
They killed his son. They took out his replacement. They did. Look at some of the names on this. Abdul Hakim Mousavi. Let me see. The commander-in-chief of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Hossein Salami, gone. Yahya Sinwar, who was the leader of Hamas, gone. They took him out. I believe they took him out a few months ago. Leader of the Hezbollah terrorist organization. They got Hassan Nasrallah. They like
Ahmadinejad.
Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Gone.
Yeah.
They got everybody. Everybody. I've never seen. I've never at this as we speak.
Oh boy.
They're taking out Iran's navy.
Yes.
And their air force. They're sinking boats. They're sinking aircraft carriers. They are bringing the IRGC down to their studs.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
what's
incredible.
important right now, because the supreme leader, as of last year, I guess during the 8th Day War, he became more of a symbolic head, and it was the IRGC that really was taking over command and control. But lots of those guys seem to have met their maker yesterday, but it's not done yet. Okay, it's not over yet. There's another barrage going on tonight in Tehran, and they estimate about 4 weeks that it's going to take to really clean house. And they made the classic a really dumb mistake by hitting 13 countries in Saudi Arabia. Hello,
it was like 5. It was like 6.
Oh,
it was Bahrain, Oman.
Now,
yeah, it was Bahrain.
Yep.
UAE.
Yep.
Oman too.
Kuwait.
Yep.
Qatar.
Yeah.
They hit Qatar. Qatar. That last time I checked, Qatar was one of them. It was mostly on their side. They threw Jordan. There was the other one. They threw bombs. They shot bombs at almost everybody in the region. And out of all the civilians that they could have killed, only one died in, I believe it was Abu Dhabi. And that was because some debris fell on him.
There's a hospital, I believe, in Gaza that was also hit. But there's also, remember, there's people at different bases, like our base in Bahrain, the UK, they had a base that got hit. France, Italy.
Okay.
Yeah. All of a sudden, lots of folks seem to want to be getting involved. So the neighborhood has changed.
I mean, what would you do if you're in this country? They fired rockets at friend and foe alike. The IRGC.
Reckless.
I don't know if the interns are now
desperate.
doing it because that's all they have left, but somebody's pushing a button.
So I heard that in a communication from the IRGC or somebody from Iran or intelligence. I think it was from Iran directly. They're saying that basically, I learned this from the PBD, President Daily Brief with the CIA guy. I forget his name now, Mike something. But he said that basically they kind of just admitted that they don't have central orders right now. So they're going off of pre-existing orders before the, in case the Ayatollah got assassinated or in case their leaders got assassinated, which, they planned. So they're not getting any updated orders so much, or at least, not as much. They basically admitted they're working with orders that were maybe written a year ago or something like that. So, there's a lot of mistakes that could be made with that too. So they're on their own. I'm hoping. I mean, Trump said that a lot of them are apparently begging for mercy and stuff. I hope they do that, and I hope they lay down their arms and just let figure out some kind of way forward with the Iranian people. That's a smart thing to do.
It is.
You don't want to go to war with U.S. and you don't want to go to war with U.S. and Israel and now other people who might be getting involved because they're pissed off.
Saudi Arabia, I think, is one for sure.
Yeah,
exactly.
Without a doubt, this is a regime that's obviously in tatters and shattered. But this is what's remarkable. The president is saying, you guys in Iran have to make decisions about how your country's going to be run.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Different. And you're exactly right. 60 years right after World War II in particular, this was you went from the Department of War to the Department of Defense, and it was an entirely different mindset. Now, rather than sending pallets of cash, we're sending stealth bombers from Brightman Air Force Base in Missouri.
There's a streamer called the Burnt Peanut who referred to the B-2 bomber. Yo, he's hilarious.
The Burnt Peanut.
Peanut.
Is that that's what the Ayatollah is right now, by the way.
Oh God.
I love it. No, that was
funny.
wow. Nino, I didn't know you had it in you, bro.
Come on, bro. We do this show every week.
That's true. That was good. That was real good. The Burnt Peanut referred to those B-2 bombers as, and I quote, the Black Dorito.
Black Doritos, yes.
The Black Dorito.
Yes, that's their nickname, the Black Doritos. They actually flew, there were 4 of them that flew a mission yesterday, and they did some of the deeper bunker busters that were going on. I know that there's
the Moab mission? Nice.
Yeah. I know that there's one sub that they're looking for right now because apparently they have a problem on aircraft carriers in particular with diesel electric subs, finding them, and especially when they're in torpedo range. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to find that right now and sink it.
Oh,
get them all, man.
Get it. Yeah. It's like Pokemon right now. Got to catch them all.
We got to catch them all, whack them all.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've been waiting for this for 47 years. I don't know about y'all, but I'm old enough to remember being in school in the 70s in elementary school, and all of a sudden there were all these like Persian kids, and they called themselves, they were from Persia, right? That they were escaping, and this was even before the Shah was deposed. But they saw what was coming, and so seeing those old videos about how Iran used to be. This amazing country of science and engineering and math and fashion. And, it just, that door shut. And all of a sudden, hostage taking and death to America chants. We've been putting up with this for 47 years while they have supported Hamas, Hezbollah, the Taliban, ISIS. They have terrorist training camps. They've been supporting our enemies with oil, people like China. So no more pallets of cash, no more death to America. Adios.
I mean, I asked the Gemini, and they said that, this is only between October 2023 and November 2024. Iran and its proxies conducted more than 180 attacks against the U.S. forces in the Middle East. And I was just in 23. And then
they were behind October 7th.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to derail any Abraham Accord talks. Now, I think we're going to see that happening.
How foolish, man! How foolish! What a foolish move! Ayatollah could just continue to rule his country, get out of it. Stop messing with people, stop messing with the United States and Israel. And now he's a burnt peanut.
Now he's a burnt peanut.
That's not going to be a job anybody wants.
No. You don't want to be that. Listen, when I saw it trips me out, right? Because Persians, like all the videos from that era, it's like, how in the world did a country like that? They were basically Western.
Yeah.
They were a Western Middle Eastern country.
Right.
47 years on it. Almost. It was, I think, it freaks me out because I'm seeing so much of that red-green alliance here in the United States.
Right.
It's scary to me, particularly in New York City. But I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I just want to talk about the response to some of this, because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you've noticed this the way I've noticed this, but the same the usual suspects keep showing up at these rallies. Not even, matter of fact, they were planning, the People's Forum, Neville Roy Singham's group, they were planning for these types of protests, hands off Iran. They were planning this, and I'm going to show you what these protests look like, y'all. It's the usual suspects. Matt Van Swole, shout out to Matt Van Swole. We love you, brother. I just want to show you this, and y'all can tell me if this don't look about white to you.
Lord.
U.S. imperialism. U.S. imperialism.
Yeah, these people suck so bad, man. That's what they do all year round, all year long.
This is a pro-Marxist, effort. It has very little to do with anything but Marxism.
They're walking up 8th Avenue. They're walking up 8th Avenue. They're in the 50s.
It never ends with that
area in Manhattan. Yeah.
But this doesn't take into account the 81% that within Iran, much less all over the world, right, of Iranians who are supportive of what the president has done. 81%, y'all.
Profusely thanking the president of the United States. I have never seen. Matter of fact, let me show. Let me just share this.
I mean, even the Arabs are mostly in support of it.
Yeah.
The surrounding Arab countries. I mean,
the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia came over specifically to encourage the president to do this.
MBS.
I mean, that should tell you everything you need to know about it. Even the Muslim countries around there. Obviously, the Persians in America are super happy about it. So many of the Iranian citizens are happy about this.
Yeah.
What did he just do? Like kill 30,000, 40,000 Iranian people?
60.
It's 60 now? Good
60.
Lord.
60,000 people were genocided by the Ayatollah.
It's crazy.
Genocide.
Yeah, that's a genocide, and that's they call Trump a fascist for like two people messing around with ICE agents getting killed.
Look, this was literally they
support
snipers.
This guy. Yeah,
I mean, they sent out snipers to the protests, right, in Iran, and they were just murdering folks right and left. But if they went to the hospital, they were killing men, women, and children in their hospital beds.
Oh my God!
like
I didn't know that.
Oh yes, and then they would do mass
God.
graves and put all of their information. So they just erased these people. Erased them. Oh no, it's the stories coming out are hideous.
Oh my God!
And Trump's a fascist dictator because he enforces our national borders.
Oh
no, the only reason why we know any of this is because Elon sent in a whole mess of Starlinks. Thank you, God, for that.
Thank you, Elon, man. Thank you, God and Elon.
I wanna share this because
Papa Elon.
If you think for 1 second, folks, and I'm gonna mark this, if y'all think for 1 second that the leftist response to this is, I'm gonna show examples of how unhinged these people actually are, starting with the illegitimate, I'm calling him illegitimate, senator out of California, Adam the Neck Schiff. yeah, Adam the Neck. That's what I'm calling him, Adam the Neck.
This idiot.
From Eric Doherty, shout to him. Just in a stunning moment, Senator Adam Schiff says he wishes Ayatollah commit. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to read that. Here we go. I'm just going to let him say it.
The Ayatollah Khamenei-led regime that brutalized its own people, launched attacks around the world for almost 40 years. So is the president right to take him out?
No, you're right about the Ayatollah. He was a brutal dictator. This is a murderous regime. But at the same time, it posed no imminent threat of attack to the United States.
The Ayatollah Khamenei-led regime.
You cannot be serious.
Are you kidding me with this shit, man?
You cannot be serious.
180 attacks between 2023 and 2024 alone. So on at least on U.S. Property and forces. So that's attack on us.
Kay, what are your thoughts? Because I'm a bad cleanup on this one.
Well, we put up with the Marine barracks attack. We put up with the hostages. We put up with them funding their way into becoming a nuclear nation. We put up with their continual lying despite that. We put up with them funding terrorist camps and our enemies. And frankly, if Kamala had won, she'd be sending more pallets of cash. Let's be real.
It's crazy.
So this is the first. I know that folks have a problem with, endless wars. This is not the president who's going to do an endless war. He's stated it. He's shown it. He's already said, that this is going to be about 4 weeks. You know, and I understand everybody's fear about this, but my bigger fear are the folks who are here as sleeper cells within the U.S. that we've got to watch. But ICE has been taking care of a lot of that, right? But at the same time, keep your head on a swivel, folks, because clearly there's some activity going on where they've been activated. Regardless, I am thrilled for the people of Iran who have been women who have had their eyes gouged out for wearing makeup, men who've had body parts chopped off, women who have had, you know, genital mutilation and been stoned, you know, for nothing. I mean, this is a brutal regime, and I'm thrilled to death that finally, for the first time in my life, we're going to see some freedom there.
It's about time we saw some accountability too. I mean, it's like there has to be consequences at some point. What's it been? He said 46 years. You know, it's like just antagonizing us, killing our soldiers, antagonizing Israel, a lot of our allies. You know, all the terrorism they've been funding and planning. It's like there's got to be serious consequences of that. I mean, how many warnings do you need? And like you said, like Kamala, Obama, Biden will be giving them money and propping them up, and it's like, no, you know, we're getting terrorist attacks regardless. So I think we just get rid of them and let people know that you're hunted. Now we're gonna hunt you down. Anybody who wants to show up and be in the top of that totem pole and keep it going, get them too every single time until they play ball. You know, like play ball like Venezuela's apparently playing ball, for example.
Look, one thing I will say before Isaiah goes. The first duty of government, indeed why governments were created since the beginning of time, is to protect its citizenry against predators, both foreign and domestic. Okay? Mm-hmm. If it cannot do that, if we cannot trust them to do that and do it well, we can't trust them to do anything else, y'all.
Exactly.
Totally.
I have never... To know that there are... I remember talking to my wife a little bit a few hours ago about this, and like we've kind of had our back and forths about this, and the one thing that keeps coming to mind is why like couldn't this have been done through the usual process, you know, meaning you know, declarations of war through Congress and all that kind of stuff, right? Now, Obama didn't need to go through Congress, right? He didn't feel like he had the need. And I don't want to get into like that whole back and forth, like, but when you have people in the legislative branch, like an Adam Schiff, who are already diametrically opposed to anything you do, whether you want to do stuff at home or the stuff domestic, or want to do stuff abroad. These people are diametrically opposed to the very existence of Donald John Trump Sr. What else? Just before we go anywhere else, what does that even? They can't even hold on a second, because one of our haters here passed the SAVE Act. John Thune said right when they had the opportunity to do so, he goes, "Oh, we don't have time to do it," and then went to like a dog parade in the Senate.
Well, okay, I will say
get anything out of this Senate. You can't get anything out of Congress.
No, you can't.
These people, you have people in there who are either too old to legislate or who just don't want to legislate altogether, folks.
Yes,
that's the problem right now. And this other thing too, real quick. We have bigger problems at home. I know. Have you taken a drive through any urban center? Okay, I drove through New York. We had a rental car. My wife and I did earlier this week, and driving through New York, we drove through my hometown, Baltimore. The roads are shit. You have potholes everywhere. You have trash and garbage all over the place in New York City as we speak. Okay? You have high crime. You have in Baltimore, my hometown, Harbor Place was like the place to be when I was a kid. I'm 42 years old. It was the place to be. People came to Baltimore to see Harbor Place and the Gallery right there off of Pratt Street. Okay, the water opens up. People love Baltimore's waterfront. There's nothing in Harbor Place anymore. Okay, the bottom line is this: if you want to focus, y'all say we have bigger problems at home. I agree, but guess what? You got to vote for people. You got to focus now on your mayors and your governors.
Yep.
Because trust me, folks, all these Democrats who are pretending to be, these good and holy, these friendly moderates like they were pre-Obama. Look at what happened in Virginia.
Yep.
They are not interested in governing. They are interested only in ruling. So you know what? Trump can do whatever he wants to do at this point at the federal level. I don't give a shit. You focus on the state. You focus on your local level, folks. That's where your solutions lie.
And Isaiah, I want to add to that, man. With your wife's what do you want to call it? Her argument or whatever, which is very common amongst it's like the main common argument amongst the Democrats and anybody who disagrees with the war. So it's illegal. We could have went to diplomatic. First of all, obviously that hasn't worked for 46 years. But also what you want to do, if you want to end things quickly, it's an element of surprise. So if you know you can decapitate him, the Ayatollah and 40 of the top leadership, you do it. Because otherwise this goes on forever. His kid takes over when this guy dies, and it's just going to be kind of give him more money. There's another terrorist attack, another October 7th, another terrorist attack here. It's it's enough, man. It's fucking enough of this shit. Enough. Element of surprise, cut off their heads, get rid of them, and then they realize this is not a safe thing to do anymore. It's not safe. Exactly. It's not smart. If you want to have a future, you don't screw around with us. And we have the technology. We have the technology and the intelligence between us and Israel, Mossad. Use it. Why are we putting up with this? Use it when we are.
I would also say that the War Powers Act is very specific. Mm-hmm. And Marco Rubio alerted the Gang of Eight, the leadership in both the House and the Senate, to what was happening, and as required within 48 hours, did that. And then you've got 60 days, which can be stretched out to 120 days. We're going to be in and out before that. Okay.
Yeah, telegraphing everything.
4 weeks.
Nothing illegal. No. And the diplomatic process has been going on since that man put his hand on the Bible. Okay. Yeah. Literally last January. Okay. This has been going on.
I mean, it's been going on for a long time. It happened since Trump won, Obama.
Oh, I mean,
probably George W. Bush. I mean,
and they tried to kill him. So
they tried to kill him. Yeah, they tried to kill Trump twice. I mean, that's enough. Trying to kill our presidents? No.
The diplomatic channels ain't working out so great. And they kept lying, which is apparently okay in the Muslim culture. Taqiyya, yes. Mm-hmm. And he'd had enough. And I don't blame him. Okay.
100%. Yeah.
So this whole, you need to tell Congress. Well, Congress,
you don't actually.
Mouths.
No, you don't have to. You don't, because it's first of all, if we're putting troops on the ground, that's different.
No, we aren't.
But we're not right now. So, and if we are, maybe we could talk about it. But it's Obama did so many strikes without Congress's permission. Was it in Libya? I think Syria as well.
Oh my God!
Every president, I'm pretty much every president has for a long time.
So since basically before the Korean War, certainly.
Yes, around that time.
War was World War II.
Yeah.
So
just the surgical strikes, Kosovo or Yugoslavia with Bill Clinton as well.
Right.
Reagan with I think Panama, I think it was, or George W. Yeah, there's plenty of examples of this.
There are the Gulf War I.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We had a coalition going into those things, and not that I'm thrilled with either one of them, but this is a different president, and the idea that it's America only instead of America first, well, you got to kind of pay attention to those threats out there.
Yeah.
And whether it's in Venezuela or whether it is in Cuba or whether it's in Mexico or whether it's in Iran, there are enemies, there are bad people in this world, and no amount of isolation is going to change that.
Exactly.
No, and look at the message it sends to Russia and China too. You know,
Right.
our big adversaries. It's like we took out Venezuela, so any of that oil is going to be controlled by us, or at least not going to them. Now we got Iran. That's out. You know, we
We don't need it though.
that.
We have
Right.
so much oil here, and we're going to be,
But they provide
independent
it. They
again.
provide it to China, and
Yes, they do.
Exactly.
so it's like we can starve them out that way as well, and Cuba as well,
Right.
and make them, and so we can kind of control their destinies, control our destinies, control our security in a much better place, and make everybody China think twice about, all right, maybe we don't want to go have a direct war with the United States over Taiwan. This doesn't
Right.
look good. Look what they just did to Maduro. Look what they just did to the Ayatollah. It's like, if I'm them, I'm like, all right, can we do that? I don't know that we. If I'm Xi Jinping, I don't know. I'm like, can we do that? When's the last time China's had a war? They don't even know if they can do that. In Russia has their hands full with Ukraine. This is you have to, while you have the strength, you have to make these moves. That's a smart thing to do.
Exactly.
It's like enough playing soft with these people.
Well, and you can't allow a place like Iran to have a nuclear weapon. You just
Exactly.
can't.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
can't.
That's the other
So-
thing. Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this. Because this is a question that has come across for me lately, and several other people, and I've had difficulty explaining it. Like maybe I'm like at a loss for words.
I can't imagine
When I
that.
do, yeah, you'd be surprised. Well, I had an ear infection all this week, all last week. I wasn't saying nothing.
That's
It was-
painful.
Ooh. Listen, thank God for the ear, nose, and throat doctor that I went to on Tuesday. But I want to ask you this because it's a pretty poignant question. How is, and we probably answered this with Nino bringing up the 180 attacks over the last how many years was that, bro? It's like 100.
That was just between 2023, October 2023, and November 2024. So there's more.
So that's a year.
That's not even counting Beirut.
So here's my question to you. What is this operation going on in Iran? How is it America first?
Well, like I said, first duty of government, reason why governments were created, is to protect its citizenry against enemies both foreign and domestic. You cannot ignore the enemies, because if you don't keep your citizens safe, what else can they do? Well, not much, right? So it is America first because we have bases that need to be protected. We have, all kinds of American servicemen and women all over the place, and they are in the crosshairs over there. And you allow a regime like Iran, who has pointedly said and done things that show they want to eradicate us from the face of the earth. And to that extent, believe them, because they've tried everything they can to make sure that happens. And so it's America first because it's allowing a nation that was once a free, prosperous, amazing cradle of civilization to flourish again. Any country that embraces freedom, that's a good thing for us, because guess what? They're going to want to nourish that over there instead of coming over here. All right.
Yeah. I mean, they're
nourish that.
They're continuously killing, American troops, even if it's a small number here, a small number there.
Right.
That's enough. I mean, that's enough. Why, you can't, why would we ever allow that? Why would we ever, we owe it to, we owe it to our American servicemen to be like, there's gonna be severe consequences for this. It's just, even if it's just one person. You intentionally are killing our troops intentionally. If it's a mistake, that's something else we could talk about. But you're intentionally doing it. If that was, and there was, it's only one, or it's only 500 people or 1,000 people, whatever it is, it's probably at least 1,000, I think. But you know, it's like, okay, but what if that was your kid? Your kid going to serve bravely, you know, their country, defend their country, and then we just let Iran and Soleimani or whatever, you know, just do some kind of a roadside bomb or something. They're like, well, you know, we don't want to start any war. We don't want to start World War III. It's like, we're not going to start World War III. It's not going to happen. There's not going to be World War III. Now we're cutting off. We're finishing all of our enemies one by one. You know,
Exactly.
and then they're isolated. China's isolated. Russia's isolated.
North Korea.
North Korea.
North Korea. Right.
Rocket Man. I always forget about Rocket Man. But I mean, I think you got to weaken their allies and show the strength. You know, peace through strength. And again, if I'm China, I'm like, well, this doesn't look good.
Nope.
You know, we're probably gonna have to deal with Israel too. Israel's intelligence. Israel's like they're gonna help us out. Taiwan, they're gonna fight with Japan. South Korea potentially might get involved. I mean, it's just in the United States.
I'm fascinated by the new leader in Japan. I mean,
yeah, she's great.
She seems amazing.
Yeah,
she is incredible. I love watching
more of that.
Right?
We need more of that.
Now speaking of leadership, I love watching when bad leadership gets exposed.
Right.
Okay. I absolutely enjoy when bad leadership gets exposed.
Yep.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't figured it out already, Democrats are not for you.
No.
I'm saying this right shocked. Now. We're right. You know, Democrats are not for you. They are not interested. They are only interested in one thing: turning you into tax cattle and turning and while they bring in vote cattle to bring them in perpetuity.
And that's not true, Isaiah. Wait. The one thing I gotta disagree with, man. Like they are for you, for any of our listeners. If you're like a violent criminal, sex offender, illegal immigrant,
illegal alien, yeah,
or like a guy who wants to hang out in the women's bathroom.
Well, that's the vote cap.
They're for you. They're for you. Those people. Go ahead.
Listen,
for any of our listeners that happen to be one of those people,
right, exactly. No. If you listen, there are two types of cattle that the Democrats want to rule over: the tax cattle, which are everybody here on your screen, and you yourselves out there. Okay. Yeah. And then the vote cattle that they brought in from the southern border. Okay. And they bring them in for congressional apportionment votes and cheap labor, DoorDash drivers. But here's the thing. Yeah. But here's the thing. At the State of the Union address that a lot of the Democrat Party skipped, those who didn't were in for a treat. President of the United States gave a master class in showing exactly what these people are all about. Watch.
So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Y'all saw that, right? He just shook his head as we looked at him. Incredible. Like if there was ever an oh shit moment.
Oh, that's too good.
Oh shit.
That is too funny.
Right there.
I love it.
Here's the proof, y'all. Drink it in.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, it's too fucking good. Do you have the other one?
Oh yeah. I gotta put that in. I gotta put that in here. But I do have that. Kay, your thoughts, my love.
We gotta show that a little bit.
Well, I think there's an echo in here. The first duty of government. Yeah. Beautiful line. And by the way, props to the video camera operator for panning back and giving that ad. And props to Kat Kamek, who put herself on the Democratic side so that the cameras would say, who is that person who's standing up on the Democratic side? So they kept going to her and showing.
That's smart.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. They're starting to think. Republicans are starting to think this kind of strategy, and that's a good thing.
It is
so
good.
It's not everyone who's a problem child in the conferences in the House and Senate. There's a handful, and that's enough to cause a problem.
Right.
Look, I've been doing a lot.
It's not to John Fetterman for being one of them.
Right, exactly.
Senator John Fetterman out of Pennsylvania is one of those who have not completely lost their minds. But the
president, he's been pretty good, man, lately.
He was incredible. He's actually, man. You know what?
He's doing it old school. Okay, that's the way we used to do it. I mean, look, I've been to a number of State of the Unions, a number of them, both in the Capitol, at the White House. Okay, I know how it goes. So the other night, I was sitting there thinking, oh, well, this is going to be a speech. Yay, we'll talk about it, give some color behind the scenes. I was floored. Okay, not just by the president sort of rope-a-doping them into that response, but also the guests. Okay, now we saw this in when he did the joint session of Congress speech. We saw who they wouldn't stand for. All right, and that's a new thing too. They hate Trump so much they can't even stand for little kids
with cancer, right?
Tumors.
Yes.
They can't stand for mothers of murder victims.
Unbelievable.
They can't stand for a Congressional Medal of Honor. I mean, my God.
Yeah.
But this was beautiful.
But Trump had the right response, though.
Yes.
He had the right response to that. I love this. Watch.
Nobody stands up. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
Oh man, I was dying, dude. I was dying when I heard this. It's so true.
You know what?
Nobody stands up. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
Yeah, it had to be said, man.
Do you understand?
That was so well delivered too. Like, sometimes Trump sometimes is kind of, not always the best speech giver. Sometimes he kind of goes on too long. Sometimes he's good. But that was like one of those things. I was like, that was perfect. It's like everybody watching that must feel that, unless they're like, totally in the bubble, the Democrat bubble. Like, these people are crazy. Because he just, right before that, Isaiah, he was explaining how what state was it that they're talking about?
The trans.
Yeah. They ruled that you can take away their kid.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what they
don't want to change their gender. You can take away their kid. That is crazy.
I know. Yeah. It is. It is.
You know what I think? The one thing that
if most people knew about that, they don't. I'm telling you, most Democrats don't know about it. If they knew about that, that would be probably enough for them to not vote for the Democrats. But
and
they
then
don't know
showed even more craziness, right? With all of their State of the Swamp protest State of the Unions. They looked insane. I mean, a giraffe playing harmonica.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I forgot all about that. I literally forgot all about that.
Forgot about it. Yeah.
Joy Reid. I remember Joy Reid being like, fuck all y'all Trump supporters. Joy.
Unhinged.
Joy.
Absolutely unhinged.
Hold on, Joy. I know you. Okay, you. I know you forgot about me from many years ago, right? Yo, get your life. Okay, seriously, you out here looking crazy, baby. Seriously, like I'm not even joking.
Oh, I
She
know.
looked nuts.
Joy
now,
Reid.
right? Joy.
I can't take it, man.
Listen. If there's one thing, and I don't even say this to people I know, right? Because I got a lot of friends, a lot of people who I know and love, whose entire identity is the hatred of one man. I'm going to say this right now before we move on. Folks, get a life. Your life is far more important and far more diverse, I hope, to the point where you can't focus all your hatred on one person. It's not healthy, okay? It is not healthy to hate someone so much, unless it's communism. I reserve the right. I reserve that. If you see it, like, I'm serious. You should hatred of communism, hatred of fascism is exactly what it means to be an American. But when your focus is when you hate one person, fixated on one person that it almost becomes a bit of anti-worship, right? Because y'all hang on. I'm so serious. Y'all hang on to every word that Trump says more than any conservative I have ever come across. Y'all hang on to that man's words.
And they let it get between family. You know, their family, their mothers and fathers, their brothers and sisters, their boyfriends, their husbands, or what. It's like you're letting Trump ruin your life. You're letting Trump ruin your family life, your relationships, old friends, best friends.
Hold up. Before we even get there, go to Hinge, go to OkCupid, go to any of these online dating sites. The first thing some of these women is out here saying are like, well, if you voted for Trump, I don't want to talk to you. You just
swipe left.
Swipe left. I don't want to speak to you. I'm like, what?
I'm not dating any fascists.
Like,
they couldn't even define what fascism is. Okay.
What did they say?
They couldn't even define what a fascist is, first and foremost. Second of all, well, exactly. But second of all, I am baffled by these women who have clearly had the feminist mind virus take over. Okay. Now, for all of this empower women BS that they shovel, which women don't know where their power is today. Okay. Sorry, but they don't. Quite frankly, I would like to know, how do these feminists on the left justify the killing of women and children in this country by illegal aliens? How do they justify, first of all, you're told that they don't know what a woman is. Then they're told, oh my goodness, we have this whole trans category and you got to believe it. The silence from the feminists is deafening.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, and to be fair, there's a lot of them, the TERFs, right, which I'm sure you're familiar with. Those ones are the brave, smart feminists that see where this is going. The J.K. Rowlings and all that.
Yes.
So they're talking, but you're right. The other really ignorant
the gals that now seem to be real tired. I mean,
where they been at?
Right?
Where they been at? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen them.
Or as Rush used to call them, the nags.
The last time, seriously, folks in the chat, please let us know if this is the case. Please let us know when the last time you saw a now sign at any of these protests, like the National Organization for Women, it's like the curved N and the curved W with the big O in the middle that they haven't had since fucking high school. That's like if you please let us know in the chat if you've seen any of those signs.
Last time I saw them was with Code Pink folks protesting judges on the Hill. Okay, back in the early 2000s. That was it. Okay, Medea Benjamin hates my guts. But anyways, what can I tell you? They've been silent on this. And to me, time out. We're going to believe all women, but not the women who were raped on October 7th? What?
Yeah, exactly.
You let men in women's locker rooms, women's sports, women's prisons.
Exactly. You fought for Title IX, ladies.
Yeah.
So I do have. So here's the thing. Okay.
And indoctrinating children to get castrated, spayed, and neutered. and sterilized. Like, let's not forget
don't know
that.
what a woman
You spay and neuter your own children, and then you let big guys in dresses jerk off in the women's bathroom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what? Great job, ladies.
And you don't know what a
job.
woman is until Kamala runs. Then you know what a woman is, because apparently sitting down to pee is what you need in the Oval Office.
No matter what.
I didn't know that was a qualification.
Yeah.
I'm good. I've been good. But here's the thing. If y'all want to know what fascism is, folks, I do have an answer for you. Okay. So for $111 billion, the Ellison family, Paramount bought Paramount Skydance, are now the owners of Warner Brothers Discovery. That happened Thursday or Friday. The Ellison family, the son, what is it, Michael Ellison, I believe his name is? Michael Ellison, who is the son of Larry Ellison. Right. Please correct me in the chat if I got the names mixed up. I think I have them right. Yes. Michael Ellison, who's the head of what is, oh God, I got the name mixed up already. The head of Paramount Skydance bought Warner Brothers Discovery. And there are a lot of the HBO is theirs, CNN is theirs. I believe Viacom is a part, MTV, Discovery Channel, HBO Max. Essentially, and they are apparently very big conservatives, and people are freaking out. There is
I love it, man. I love it.
If you want to know what fascism is, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to show you this.
I hope they could pay for the guys from South Park's TDS therapy. Like, hopefully.
Well, they bought. Ellison bought CBS.
He did, right? And Barry Weiss might very well be the hatchet girl in CNN. But listen, I hope so. Ruben Gallego on Friday said this. Ruben Gallego is a senator from Arizona. He said, we have to make it so painful that generations from now, CEOs will flinch at the idea of businesses corruptly teaming up with government. These people, imagine this, folks. Imagine this for just a second, okay?
Tell that to Zuckerberg.
You've held a monopoly. You have held a monopoly on most everything this country sees, most everything this country listens to. You have held control over everything. Okay.
Yep. Legacy media, Hollywood, social media, universities, K through 12.
Exactly.
The blue cities, the big blue cities, pretty much. Major cities.
Everything. You've literally had everything in the palm of your hands. And the second you lose even a fraction of the power that you've held over the last, 40, 50 years?
Yep.
Now, all of a sudden, you want to freak out and call everything fascism. I'm sorry. You want to go full fascism. It's like, y'all, I've never in my entire life, Kay, seen Democrats just go, we're going to punish the same corporations who were basically doing everything we wanted them to do not even 3 years ago. You got Susan Rice. I want to play this, and then I want to get your thoughts on this afterwards, Kay. You got Susan Rice going full, this was earlier this week.
Yep.
Full fascism right here, y'all.
But when it comes to the elites, the corporate interests, the law firms, the universities, the media, I agree with you, Preet. It is not. It's not going to end well for them. For those that decided that it was, that they would act in their perceived very narrow self-interest, which I would underscore is very short-term self-interest, and take a knee to Trump. I think they're now starting to realize, wait a minute, this is not popular. Trump is not popular. What he is doing, whether on the economy and affordability or on immigration now, is not popular. And that there is likely to be a swing in the other direction, and they are going to be caught with more than their pants down. They're going to be held accountable by those who come in opposition to Trump and win at the ballot box. And I can tell you, Preet, as I talk to leaders in Washington, leaders in our party, leaders in the states, if these corporations think that the Democrats, when they come back in power, are going to, play by the old rules, and say, oh, never mind, we'll forgive you for all the people you fired, all the policies and principles you've violated, all, the laws you've skirted. I think they've got another thing coming because, just like when Trump thought, okay, I'll redistrict and the Democrats won't have the guts to play hardball. They're going to be surprised. Democrats have had a belly full, and we're not going to play by the old set of rules when these guys are playing by a very different set of rules. We're going to play.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Old set of rules. Huh?
The old set of rules. These people, whenever, okay, I'm a to listen.
Why aren't you playing by the old set of rules where we control everything?
Old set of rules. Look,
Rules.
Susan, honey,
What rules?
you broke the rules many moons ago, and you've gone after folks for all kinds of, pardon me, bullshit reasons. And that's nothing new. We expect it. Okay. You guys take power again. Y'all who think you're not going to be voting, please save your texts and your emails and all of that, and I hope you have an attorney on speed dial, because if you think for a second that they're not going to go after folks who just said something, put a tweet up, they're going to. Trust and believe that. So you want to go after companies that once supported you? I'm shocked. Color me shocked that that's what they want to do. And by the way, it has nothing to do. They don't use the rule of law. They don't use facts in a case. They just make crap up, throw it at a wall, and decide whoever is standing in the way of their agenda, they're going to keep them tied up in court.
Yeah. These people never, like I said, these people never once thought they would ever fall out of power completely. No. Because the way the old rules worked, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, the Democrats were always the one. It was like Democrats are the ones who rule the roost. And even when a Republican wins, the Democrats still rule the roost, and they're going to deal with your ass afterwards, after their term.
Well, it's not only Democrats.
Or in some ways, or in some instances, they would essentially be just as, there would be no different than Democrats in a lot of respects.
Well,
your thoughts on that, Kay?
Biden did not invent lawfare, and they did not invent the weaponization of justice. This has been going on for a while. It's just the difference with the Biden administration, it was all out in the open. Literally. And they stopped using the rule of law and facts in cases. And you saw that with the J6ers first, right? And then you saw that with how they went after Trump. It had nothing to do with the law, with the Constitution. It had everything to do with they wanted to stop Trump at all costs. And that meant going after anybody who was in his circle whatsoever.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me make a marker here because I think it's very important. Let's talk about this because you and I had a conversation.
Yes.
A couple days ago. I think it was either Thursday or Friday when we talked. And the story that you told me was horrifying in terms of what you personally have been through. And some people, Michael Lindsay, I think has already, I think he's like, I think he knows who you are. For the benefit of our audience and the benefit of other people in the chat, I would like for you to relay that story on air and to Nino, because I think it's very important.
Okay. Where to start? All right. I won the husband lottery in who I married. Brilliant, talented. He's worked in the political realm. He was on the Senate Judiciary Committee as a senior counsel. He's been chief of staff, on Capitol Hill. You go along and you expect, I guess, in politics to make a few enemies. That's par for the course in the rough and tumble of politics. What was so shocking, I guess, about our story was the absolute ignoring of anything to do with the rule of law, anything to do with jurisprudence that had come before, anything to do with facts. They were interested in destroying my family, period. I had gone up against the Bush administration, against folks like Harriet Miers, who was nominated for a judge position. I said, no, I can't sell that. Went up against Alberto Gonzalez. Meanwhile, my husband was on Senate Judiciary working for Arlen Specter. And in 2009, Senator Specter, who's then chairman of the Judiciary Committee, started getting phone calls. And so my husband found himself in a tug of war because they wanted Arlen to change parties so they could get Obamacare passed. And my husband said, no. Senator, they're lying to you. All these promises they're making to you, it's going to be a big mistake if you change parties. Well, he lost that tug of war. And he found out who the person was who was calling every other day to try and get him to change parties. It was then Vice President Joe Biden. So my husband feeling very guilty about all of that. And I had already pissed off most of the leftists on the Judiciary Committee, Pat Leahy, Teddy Kennedy, Chucky Schumer, Dickie Durbin, the rest of the Hitler Youth. And they were pissed off at me because of some memos that had been discovered on the server in the Democrat side of the Senate Judiciary Committee. And in those memos, literally senators were sending memos back and forth, the most outrageous, racist, sexist memos where they were talking about the president's nominees. Now, I go back to my journalism training and I thought, well, I know exactly what we're going to do with this. We're going to print them. They were on taxpayer-funded servers, written by taxpayer-funded senators. The public has a right to know. Print it. They didn't like that. So, yeah, I had a tendency to be the tip of the spear, and they didn't like me. Anyways, oh, well, I'll survive. Then I was asked long about 2013, 2014 to go down to North Carolina and run for Congress against a rhino. Happy to say that despite being redistricted out of that seat, I made sure that all of our opposition research defeated one Renee Elmers, who was evil to veterans and evil to her constituents. Yay. So got rid of a rhino, which is tough. In the meantime, though, my husband was looking for any way to redeem himself from this, 2009. Oh my God, they got control of the Senate. They passed Obamacare. He was ruminating on this. And so he kept on scanning for an opportunity to take back the Senate. And he found that there was a seat in of all places, Wisconsin. Tammy Baldwin was vulnerable. So he decided, we need to find a candidate to run against Tammy Baldwin. So he found one. And he decided, after discussing it with Sheriff David Clark of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Would you like to run? And he said quite openly to him, show me the money. Show me the money. Show me that I would have support if I ran. All right. All right. Well, there's a thing in fundraising world called a draft pack. Literally, you are trying to convince someone to run for office. This has been around forever. Look at Goldwater, Kennedy, draft packs. You don't coordinate with a campaign. It doesn't matter what they say, when they say it. Candidates, Hamlet on the Hudson, all the time. I'm going to run. I'm not going to run. I'm going to run. Not. The very essence of a draft pack is to try and convince someone to run. That's its purpose. All right. So my husband starts up a draft pack. Now, he put more money in than he ever got out. He basically was one of about 5 other draft packs out there for this one race. Now, none of the other draft packs had the same political pedigree that my husband did at all. Okay, so he starts raising money. He starts doing pretty well with the raising of the money and all of that. It wasn't a great deal of money, but it showed support. Okay. Well, one Saturday, Clark gets on a radio show and he says, I don't know that I'm going to run for this. I don't think I want to. I've got the greatest job in the world, a job with which he 3 weeks later quit. I don't know about this. All right, fine. So that Monday, the agency that, by the way, was doing fundraising and support for Trump, gave him an email to send out. He didn't write it. He was thinking, maybe if Trump calls him and says you're going to run. But in the meantime, he was more excited that other people had noticed his good work. And he said, maybe we can actually start a company in direct marketing and help lots of candidates. There are folks who want us to work for them and help them. So he had a 4-hour-long conversation with his buddy who he was running this with. And finally, it was an argument back and forth and back and forth. Finally, he said, okay, I'll send it out. Again, did not write it. Never got paid to do it, to send it out. Sent it out that Monday. Didn't think about it again. Started his own company in this. And he really is the top in the industry. He's the top direct marketing fundraiser for Trump Inc., for the NRCC, for the NRSC, for the RNC, and almost every candidate you can think of.
And what real quick, your husband's name once again is
Jack Daly.
Okay.
He's the only one who has literally raised more than 1 million individual donations for Trump.
Oh my God.
Okay. He sent out billions of emails, texts, all of that. All right. He also kept trying to clean up the industry because it was the Wild West at the time. And so he said, no, I'm not sending this. No, I'm not sending that. All right. Fast forward. A couple of years ago, I'm sitting at my nephew's place in Southern Virginia. It's Thanksgiving. My 2 boys are out hunting deer. My daughter is very excited. She wants to be a surgeon. So she's thinking, yay, I get to dissect a deer. And we're waiting for my husband to show up for Thanksgiving. He calls, honey, I'm not coming up. Oh, you missed your flight. Okay, let me see if I can get on the flight. Thinking that that's what it was. The next words that came out of my husband's mouth were shocking to me. Absolutely shocking. He could have said that he was flying to the moon and I would have believed him first. He said, honey, I no, that's not it. I think I am being indicted. Say what?
God.
My husband is the most straight arrow, an attorney, worked on a Senate Judiciary Committee. No, that's not anything about my husband. And anyone who knows him would be like, no, that doesn't make sense. So I said, what? And I immediately went into crisis communications mode. And he said, I'm going to call some attorneys. We're going to find out about this. Well, turns out there was a very enterprising young assistant U.S. attorney who used to work for, oh gosh, let me think. The name is familiar. I know that I fought against him for the Supreme Court. Oh yeah, that'd be Merrick Garland.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he clerked for Merrick Garland. And then he worked as a special counsel to the chairman of the FBI, none other than Chris Wray. So all of this was timed with Arctic Frost, because every single one of those names on Arctic Frost, my husband raised money for.
Christopher Wray, the former White House, the former FBI director.
Yes.
Jesus.
My husband also raised money for the organization that put on the speech at the Ellipse on J6 before they went to the Capitol. And then all of a sudden, this enterprising guy armed with, an Arctic Frost list goes back to Wisconsin and decides that he's going to get himself a scalp. So they decided they were going to go after my husband for God. No, I mean, look, there has never been in jurisprudence before or since anyone who's been convicted of what my husband was convicted for. It's not a thing. All right. It's for sending this one email out. And it wasn't what was in the email. It was what wasn't an email. Now, even if you put aside, all right, the very high bar in the First Amendment for political speech, which is protected, it's not a thing if it's something that is not in the speech. That's never, it's never been a thing. So you're telling me that a draft pack can't draft because in case they say no, but they might say yes later, you have to get into their heads and you have to somehow describe that and monitor it the entire time. Otherwise, you're guilty of fraud. Really? It's not a thing. Okay.
Wow.
So, but they had to take my husband off of the playing field, all right, for 2024 because he was the top digital marketing fundraiser. So then they started in on him about a plea deal. The plea deal, they threatened to put all kinds of other charges, bizarre charges, with mandatory minimums, knowing that you cannot. Okay, a lot of people said, well, I would just go in and tell the truth. Nice thought, but the feds win 97% of their cases. It is costly. It is exhausting. It is psychologically damaging. It is a nightmare from which you never awaken. When they say that the process is the punishment, they're not kidding. Imagine if you had to fill out a form where you had to list everything that you own that's worth over $500. Yeah. The paperwork alone makes you nuts. All right. But they were, and then they were going to try and put my husband on trial during a show trial period. They wanted to have all these Republican fundraisers come in and run them through during the week of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee.
Jesus Christ.
So
basically your husband, everything that your husband was going through was going to be the distraction from the RNC.
Yes, exactly. And now the plea deal that they came up with was filled with lies from top to bottom. In fact, my husband literally went back and forth for months with his attorneys, saying, "Isn't this perjury? Am I?" Because none of this is true. None of this is right. All right, none of it. Remember, they were accusing him of basically pocketing the money. It didn't happen. The money was still there when we had to pay restitution. Okay? That's not a thing. It's not what my husband would ever do, ever. I would tell you if he did. I'd tell you if there was one part of this that made sense. Now, when he finally did accept the plea deal, he was nauseous about it because he said, "This doesn't. I'm perjuring myself here by saying this is what I did when he didn't." And so we get to the sentencing, and I told my boys, sit on either side of me because I might throat punch a bitch. This is so make sure.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not okay with this. I have been shut up completely, even though
So
I've
infuriating.
done court cases. Okay, I've done court cases. I've done all that. They had meanwhile debanked my entire family, including my 3 kids. De-insurance us. Okay, made my husband turn in his law license. He's a disabled veteran, and they were threatening to take away all of those, benefits as well.
What?
Oh yes. So
That's so crazy.
Oh, the federal judge basically agreed with us the entire time until the end. And he decided when he was doing the sentencing, we thought at the most probation, whatever. Okay. Usually a lot of this would be with the FEC, you get a fine, slap on the wrist, whatever. Even though there's nothing to slap on the wrist about. When we got there, he said, I want to send a message to the halls of Congress and to the FEC. That's not his prerogative as a federal judge.
It's really not.
No, it's not.
What?
And it was a 2-hour harangue. Now, my daughter, who is incredibly strong, but also very close to her dad, she doesn't cry. She didn't even cry when she got 2 avulsion fractures as a soccer goalie. Okay. She was like, ow, that kind of stings a little, but she didn't cry. This is a very strong young lady, but she was in hysterical tears. After they sentenced my husband, this AUSA stood up and looked at her and smiled and smirked. That's when I got up, put my hands on the bar, and I'm like, you. Just with my eyes, didn't say a word. I'm going to come after you. That's not okay. You've tormented my family for quite some time now. They sentenced my husband to 4 months in federal prison with Peter Navarro. Now, my husband did not get the same treatment as Peter Navarro by a long shot. 2 prison gangs tried to kill him. Yeah.
2 prison gangs tried to kill your husband?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Short-termer, white dude. They, had to be a snitch, had to be a fed, right?
Jesus Christ.
So we had to work the hustles in the prison, to be honest. They ended up loving him, but, it literally, we couldn't even get his heart medication to him. He'd had a heart attack, several years before, had a stent put in. I had to sneak in his medication. So he only got it twice the entire time, the entire 4 months.
Jesus Christ.
It was in Miami, and yet he couldn't get an orange. I mean, Bureau of Prisons from top to bottom is hell on wheels. Now, we're at the place now where my husband is still on probation. It was a $69,000 restitution. Usually you don't go to federal prison for under $1 million, but we paid it right away. He doesn't want a pardon, and I know exactly why. A pardon only gives you back maybe your voting rights and gun rights. My husband sees the danger in this decision because they can go after all kinds of fundraisers, right? With this bullshit precedence. So what he wants to do is to put the toothpaste back in the tube and get either a Rule 48, which is what Steve Bannon's looking to do, or a 2255. So he's got a couple of cases in which he is fighting it out. Now, all it would take, quite literally, is 3 lines on a piece of paper that the U.S. attorney, who's a Trump fan right now until March 17th, in Wisconsin, he could sign off on it. And literally the toothpaste would be put back in the tube. My husband would be vindicated. Game over. But trying to find folks who are in Washington, D.C. who give a shit, that's the problem. But we're working on it one way or the other. What I can tell you guys, having been through this, I used to be that law and order conservative, right? I can tell you that the Bureau of Prisons is broken from top down. I can tell you that, thinking that you're going to go into a courtroom and you'll just tell the truth. No. Nice thought. We can also tell you that for too long, conservatives have not understood that we need to get in on criminal justice reform because too many people are being put in prison for too long for too many things. Mm-hmm. And they're coming out angry. Okay. And that's causing more of a problem. We have to rethink some things here. And I used to be that law and order person until experiencing this. We spent, and it's, we've sold damn near everything. $4.5 million of our own money. Didn't even raise money for it at all. Jeez. $4.5 million. And had we gone to trial, not only would we probably have lost, not only would my husband be in prison still on a mandatory minimum charge that they would have added, but could we have in good conscience spent more money that we didn't have, jeopardizing my children's future, jeopardizing, his company. My husband's company is one of the only ones that even during the off years, he made sure, even when he was in prison, made sure that not one person lost their job. And he hasn't taken a salary in 3 years now.
Wow.
It is expensive. It is damaging physically, psychologically, emotionally, reputationally. It's bad. And the only narrative out there right now is what the lies that the Department of Justice has told. Okay? That is still out there. It is all, I'm telling you, from beginning to end, bullshit. So we're hoping to reverse this because we don't want anybody else to have to go through what we've gone through at all. So that in a nutshell is the story.
I'm speechless. I had where to begin.
I know.
I'd always, when the whole J6 thing started, I was still very much Democrat. I mean, it was in 2021. And for a little bit of time, I was like, this is the Capitol putsch. It's bad. It's terrible.
Right.
And, until you started seeing more of the foolishness and the way that the Democrats just kept saying how it was the worst thing since 9/11, and then it was the whole
overcharging,
the whole overcharging, holding you're jailing defendants for years. You held people in prison. You held people in jail for years, the Biden administration did.
Oh, yeah. Don't tell me about due process, lefties. Please. Yeah. I don't want to hear that.
No.
Ever again.
Due process. Fuck that.
Exactly.
No. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that, because due process is very important. But here's the thing. We know now by your story, we know now what due process actually is. You want the process is the punishment.
It is. And understand, this has been orchestrated entirely. Lawfare, entirely against the right, has been orchestrated by Norm Eisen, Mark Elias, all those folks. And they're still doing it.
Motherfucker.
Yeah,
Mark
exactly.
Elias disgusts me.
Exactly.
And
they're still doing it. Okay. They're filing lawsuits against the president's executive orders. They are, cherry picking judges. They are fighting in Fulton County. Okay. Norm Eisen, and he brags about this now.
Oh my God.
Y'all have your list. I have mine.
that guy, I have seen Norm Eisen at work. That guy is, you talk about, it's hard to tell who's a bigger fucking lizard, him or Gavin Newsom. Like some of these operators, some of the operators within these Democrat lawfare shops.
Yeah.
Seriously, I have never in my life seen so like I'm sorry, like as an American, I am truly sorry that I voted for the people who did this to you. I'm
look
so sorry. Like if I had known, seriously, if I had known that voting for Democrats was going to have was going to do this much damage to regular people, I'd have never pulled that lever for Biden.
That it's not only understand, it's not only Democrats. Okay, Republicans have been playing in this as well.
Yeah.
But look at what happened with Ken Paxton. Okay, that is a Bush/Karl Rove operation. Okay, all because Ken dared to beat George P. Bush. All right, so I recognize these things. This has been going on for a while. The difference is this is pretty egregious stuff, and it hurts the Constitution, and it does affirmative damage to several amendments in the Constitution, not the least of which is the First Amendment. I mean, the fact that there's nothing before or since anything like my husband's case, where my husband calls it the Jack Daly rule. Tim and him alone. This could do real damage to Republican fundraising. There have been some Democrat leftist supposed journalists who've also done affirmative damage here. And I had to sit on my hands. I could not even defend my own husband. And I have literally worked cases before in crisis communications, but I had to shut up. I'm not shutting up anymore because you shouldn't. These folks are venal. By the way, to add insult to injury, this assistant U.S. attorney in Wisconsin, his wife is now on the Circuit Court of Appeals. She used to work in the same. She was an ASA as well. She's now in the Circuit Court of Appeals in the Eastern District of Wisconsin. She's 42 years old. She's been put there by Trump. And I don't blame him. He was probably told, oh goodness, well, she clerked for Kavanaugh and she clerked for Scalia. I don't care. She also worked for Merrick Garland, Chris Wray, the Biden administration, Justice Department, donated to Democrats, and sleeps with one of the most venal Democrats around. And by the way, do you know who the two Supreme Court justices are who never clerked for anyone on the Supreme Court?
Besides KBJ?
Oh,
Ketanji Brown Jackson did?
No, the ones on the right, what I'm talking about.
That
would be Alito and Thomas. They never clerked for anyone on the Supreme Court. But guess who did? Oh, yeah, that would be Barrett. Amy
Barrett did?
Barrett. She clerked for Scalia. So apparently it's not dispositive now, is it? I don't care who you clerk for. I want to see, as a federal judge, have you bled for any cause? In fact, this chick, Rebecca Tableson, went around on a little tour with her leftist feminist buddies when the Ruth Bader Ginsburg movie came out.
Oh, no.
She's 42 years old. She's on a Circuit Court of Appeals. Trust and believe she will be on someone's Supreme Court shortlist.
Oh, my God.
Okay? These are the mistakes we make.
That's basically I forget I'm looking for the word. I'm at a loss for it. This is kind of like the reinstallment of a deep state.
The deep state has not gone away. Understand, we've got 4,000 political appointees, okay? But there are 2.6 million career bureaucrats. That's the deep state, okay? They slither from one administration to another. They're unfireable. I mean, they're using Article 2 right now, but they should be using the 1978 Civil Service Reform Act. But anyways, they literally, that's the deep state. It's an inexact science with federal judges, but those of us who've worked on them can you kind of get a feel for it sometimes. But it's an inexact science, but I know about her. I can tell you right up front that she's going to be a problem one way or the other. And you can't impeach them. I'm sorry, but we've only impeached, I'm not kidding, 12 federal judges in the entire history of this country. We've only removed 8. It's harder than you think.
And this is in the 250-year history of this country.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it might be time. I mean, and the reason why I say that is it's like every other week you have some federal judge taking it upon themselves to essentially act as a backstop for the Democrat Party. It's every other day. Like you've got like the federal judge, like Boasberg, for example, that guy. It's every day, every other week with these people. It's like this. I have never seen. Like, my question is, why is it when it comes to the judges? Why is it that El Salvador's president? Why is it that he could do it and we can't?
Because we have a different system. Okay, now they're true. Congress is the one that set up the Article 3.
Nayib Bukele is what I'm thinking of. Sorry.
Okay, but at the same time, there's separation of powers, right?
Yes.
That's a constitutional principle.
Yeah.
My suggestion would be either build the Patriot Caucus in both the House and the Senate, because you got problem children. Like I said before, anytime you're going to get Lisa Murkowski to agree with Mike Lee, I'd love to see that. But in the meantime, you've got these 4 to 6 in the Senate that are problem children. You got a dozen, 2 dozen in the House, right, that are the problem children. So until you build the Patriot Caucus, I do not blame Thune or Johnson. I mean, there's a 1-vote majority in the House. There's, God help, no one had better get the flu. In the Senate, you've got 53. All right. And you've got 4 to 6 problem children in the Senate. So we have to build our Patriot Caucus first. But barring that, we need to pay attention when federal judges are nominated in the first place before they get confirmed. All right, you've got Tom Tillis sitting on the Senate Judiciary Committee until November. Please, God, let Ken Paxton take his place. And he's blocking because he wants to, give the finger to President Trump. He's blocking anything worthwhile, particularly nominations.
Can I ask you just a real quick question? Why are there so many? Well, actually, it's 2 questions. The first one, it's two different ones. First one, why have there been so many defections, so to speak, on the part of Republicans, on the part of establishment Republicans, from whatever Trump's agenda is? It's like it can't be principled. It can't be. Like you have I mean, obviously Tom Tillis, one you mentioned, but you've got Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh Lord. Lauren Boebert. Yeah. And then fuck Thomas Massey. Yeah. Just like 3 examples of that. And I'm not even going into
John Bacon. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Mitch McConnell, aka right-wing Dianne Feinstein right now because of his
Cassidy.
Health issues. Why are there so many quote unquote conservatives in this Republican establishment that are just like literally trying to stonewall Trump's agenda? Okay,
I'll give you there's 2 answers to that. All right. first and foremost, in any districted election, all right, this is why redistricting is so important right now. Any districted election, 90% of winning a districted election, whether it's the House of Representatives or even your state legislatures, all right, 90% of whether or not you're going to win has to do with how those lines are drawn. Period. End of story. All right. That's part of it. Too few folks understand that not every district is created equal. They have specific, campaign histories, specific cultures. Maine is not Texas. Alaska ain't Florida. Okay. There's campaign histories, even if it's the Senate. All right. So Susan Collins, I hate to say this, is the best we're going to do right now in Maine. That's just the facts. All right. Maine's a weird state. I haven't figured out why, but it just is. So you've got different agendas with each and every House of Representative members too, right? Now, second of all, on both the House and the Senate side, we've got the House Republican Conference and the Senate Republican Conference, right? On the left, you've got the House Democratic Caucus and the Senate Democrat Caucus. Different rules, caucuses versus conference. They have more levers to keep people marching in lockstep than a conference does. Mm-hmm. That's also part of it. We have a tendency to be more individual, like I said before, rather than groupthink. When I say herding cats on crack, I'm not kidding. It really is. How you make a Don Bacon agree with a Chip Roy or a Jim Jordan. I don't know how you do that. Look, it's not everybody. It's not across the board, even though someone says it's conservative party politicians across the board. It's not everybody. All right. You guys want Mike Lee to be the new majority leader? Good luck. He'll get about 12 votes. That's the Patriot Caucus in the Senate right there. Okay. And even if you did, what was the change between McCarthy and Johnson? Nothing.
There wasn't really much, I know, right?
No, because it's from the bottom up. The fish rots in Congress from the bottom up, not the top down. What we need to do is add to the Patriot Caucus.
So here's just a follow-up question at this. And I want Nino, you can get on this also. When do we, as the American people, begin to kind of, take the focus away from the federal level? Because we all know what's going to happen in Washington, right? We all know what's happening, in Washington with these people.
Yeah.
But now we're in a situation where people are starting to feel certain things more.
Oh yeah.
For instance, I'm talking about directly, in different states. Mm-hmm. The whole no tax for tips thing. Okay, it's an example of this, where the big beautiful bill, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime,
no tax on Social Security,
no tax on Social Security.
Yeah.
But here in the state of New York, guess what? All that shit is still in place. All that's they are not I'm serious. New York. This is one party rule here, basically. Here in the state of New York. I don't know what my issue is. When does the focus shift from this hyperfixation on the national level, on the federal level, and getting into some of these states and making and Republicans running good candidates on the state and local level? Because real quick, Vicky Palladino can't do it all in New York City Council. Shout to Vicky Palladino, who's apparently my mom. Some of her leftist detractors have thought that I was her son because of some of the things that I've written over the years. But she can't do it by herself. No, she can't do it by herself. So yes, when does the focus become local rather than on the federal.
Well, understand that there's a lot of us who've been working on that for a while. Okay. One of my former bosses, Tex Lazar, in the state of Texas, helped found the Texas Public Policy Foundation. And he wrote a book back in the 90s about, it's called Making Government Work, A Conservative Agenda for the States. And I helped edit his second releasing of that book. It was the only book in which Ronald Reagan wrote a foreword after he left.
Oh, wow.
And after he left office. We've been thinking of these things for quite some time, right? And now that folks are awakened to a lot more things, thank you. That's the one good thing that came out of COVID. It truly, part of the problem is there has been so little civics, history, economics, education that you've got to start somewhere. And so this idea of federalism, returning the power to the states, that's basically what is happening. Okay. I have heard since the 80s, since 1986, I've heard about getting rid of the Department of Education and sending it to the states. But even in the states, y'all, the NEA is still powerful, right? These blobs, these education blobs in the states have been fighting against school choice in a lot of these states for years. Yeah. So what we have to do as citizens, as responsible citizens, it's part of our job to understand, making sure we vet candidates, making sure that if you have the fire in the belly to run, but know where you're running, know the history, and understand that it's not as important what you say as what people hear out there. Are you talking about something that you care about, or are you hitting where the pain is for most of your fellow citizens? Okay. It's about 10 things you need to run a successful campaign. Not any one of them is necessarily just positive, but it's true. And then, besides candidate recruitment, party structure. You need to work on a party structure in the states, because you got a bunch of dinosaurs there who'll sit there and tell you, we've always done it this way. That's the part of the problem, boys and girls.
Yeah, exactly.
And then,
I can't tell you, because real quick, I can't tell you how frustrated I am listening to some. We had a VP of the Manhattan GOP on our show last year.
Yeah.
And I asked him that same question, because New York, we are at a dearth of good Republican candidates. Some of Trump's best numbers were in the Bronx and Queens.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It is absolutely inexcusable as to why the 5 boroughs basically get left to the socialists, get left to the Democrats, but you've got Long Island and Westchester County and up, which are like, okay, well, basically, do what thou will, when it comes to Republicans. It's frustrating.
Of course it is.
Because it's literally like all the Republicans in states like mine, it's like they just want to raise money and that's it.
Yep. Exactly.
Nino, what you got, man?
I don't know. First of all, your story is, very infuriating. Honestly, I can only imagine what it's like to go through that with your family, and hopefully something can be done about that to clear your husband's name. Yes. I just want to ask: is he still politically active? Is he back to work?
Yeah, he's back to work. Still, raising money.
Good.
But also, this whole thing has taken on a huge life of its own, and so he's working these cases as well, and trying desperately to get the attention of folks in DC who can actually help. We don't expect folks to remember us up there, right? And they usually don't. But we are trying to say, look, this is a real lawfare case. This isn't, we had a Trump sign on our front lawn and that's why they went after us. This is for reals lawfare case. And
it sounds pretty egregious.
It is. It really is. And it can cause serious damage in the future. But, I do want to go back real quick to something Isaiah said. I understand your frustration about it. This was not created overnight, and it's not going to be taken care of overnight. And my advice to folks is try to step back and look at things strategically, because if you don't, you're going to burn out real quick from the emotion of it all. We all care about certain issues, right? But if you get too emotionally drawn in, you're going to spend your energy on emotion rather than strategy. And that's where burnout happens. And I've seen it happen to too many good folks. So look at it strategically, nod your head, think, you can punch the pillow later if you want to, but instead, or cry in the shower, it works for me. Instead, make sure that you aren't allowing yourself to get all that cortisol built up and burn out from it.
Yeah.
All right. But also, make sure you understand where your passion is in this and work within that arena, whether it's party politics, whether it is issue-oriented politics, whatever it is, because one person actually can change the world. I've seen it. I've absolutely seen it happen. Look at Nick Shirley. Okay. You can.
Wow.
Right? You can change the world. We introduced, much to Karl Rove's horror. Karl said the American people would never understand federal judges. And I thought to myself, wow, not the way you're talking about it, Karl. You got these lawyers, speaking DC talk up there on the TV. You aren't making it relevant to mom in Iowa. Why should she care about a federal judge? So we changed the language. We introduced what it was, why federal judges were important. And I honestly don't think that Trump would have used that in his campaign had we not done that. So if there's anything that I can possibly be proud of, it's helping on the Supreme Court, first of all, which turned out to be a bulwark for us. But also that we introduced, this is where a lot of bad stuff is coming from, folks. And here's why. And we did it in plain language, no DC speak. And we went on offense against the left, because I was not going to see another Thomas. I was not going to see another Bork happen. And it was a real live battle with the left. A lot of organizations could not be that tip of the spear. We were. So awesome. No, they hated us big time, and it's evidenced by the cost to my family, which is okay. I'm very patient, and I have a long memory, and I'm not going to let this happen to another American family as long as I have breath in my body. I'm just not. But regardless, what we need to do in our localities is absolutely get involved. You need to do your homework. It's part of being a citizen, is getting involved and doing what we can at the local and state level. I would love to see 51 Doges. I would love to see, citizen journalists going out there and being those folks who uncover the waste, fraud, and abuse. I would love to see, more of our kids and grandkids going into journalism as a whole. Becoming university presidents, becoming university professors. I'd love to see, this alternative Hollywood that's sprung up. All these methods that they have taken over for years, don't think for a minute that we cannot come back. Look at what just happened with Paramount, okay?
Exactly.
It's possible, but we have to be ready to do it. Go to law school, go to education schools, become teachers. All of this needs to be, it's going to take years to undo the damage. And I'm frankly flabbergasted at how much this president and this administration has done just within 1 year to change the very nature and structure of government. But now we are going to have to do more at our local and state levels as well.
Kay, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. You have been... I've known you for a little while now, and this being the first time that you've come on to the show, I greatly appreciate you joining us tonight. Please, our platform is yours.
Oh, same with ours.
Whenever you want to come back, you know, we are more than open to having you here. We just want to send a quick bit of love out to Jack, wherever he might be.
He's working on the cases.
oh, from the veranda, is he out there?
No, he's in his office. Down the road here. Yeah, he's in his office.
Okay. Well, if Jack ever watches this, Jack, we love you. We thank you for your service to this country, and we hope, and we here at Apostate Radio, if I may speak for the both of us, we pray your restoration, and we pray that those who did try to defeat you are laid to waste themselves.
There are very few times I lose, boys. So
good. I love it. I love the confidence, and you just wear him down and hound them and hunt them forever. So
I intend to. But also, Nick, you're always invited, and you too.
Oh, sure.
Anytime you guys want to come on the Fix, you need a platform.
Let me know.
We've been blessed.
Yeah. Anytime you want to sign, I'll come on, Isaiah. Sure.
Listen, I would love to. I was actually on with you last week.
Yes.
Last Monday. It was fantastic. I loved it.
We have fun.
Oh no, it was 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But the next time, the next show I come to, we got to have it down there on that veranda.
Ooh.
Anytime. Come on down.
Oh, don't tempt me. I'll come down.
I got
water's warm. The water's 80 degrees too, so come on down.
God,
why are you rubbing it in?
I'm so jealous.
Because I don't like snow anymore, boys. I spent too many years in DC, too many years in North Carolina. I refused to even get an ice scraper. Okay, I was just no, that's giving in. That's giving in. So I used old credit cards, anything. I refused. I didn't have a coat when I went to DC. I was a California girl, California surfer chick, right?
Right.
And quite literally, I was like, why are they closing the pools? I don't understand. What? This makes no sense. As a swimmer, I was like, closing the pool. Oh, I found out. What? Why did they close the pools? But I didn't have gloves. I didn't have a coat when I first went out there.
Oh, no.
Had no clue. Y'all are pros at it. But my daughter's in Boston these days, and
I don't want to be a pro anymore. I want to retire.
See?
Snow.
Bad things happen when I go back to the mainland, like snow. Yeah. So, no. None of
this
that.
winter is so rough.
The snow we've had to deal with in the tri-state over the last couple of weeks. It was 2 weeks. It was 2 feet of snow.
God.
I drove. Quick story.
God, the months are so long.
We went through. So my wife and I last weekend. We didn't have a show last week because my wife and I were out of town. We went to DC.
Right.
And
I'm sorry.
We are huge DC United supporters. Shout to everyone there at the crew. Tough loss today, by the way. But we went down there and we drove back. Like everything was great. Like it wasn't even that cold. Like we've been to home openers down at Audi Field and they're like frigid. Last year in particular was one of them. But anyways, we drove through the snowstorm.
Oh God!
We drove from DC up here to Westchester. I drove with an ear infection, mind you. Drove up the turnpike. When I tell you, it was one of the most harrowing experiences to watch all these people driving on the road.
Oh, yeah.
There are spots where you get hit. Oh my God. It was insane. And that was the second blizzard we had. Then there was a blizzard before that.
Right.
It was like 2 big snowstorms within a month's time. I'm over it. I'm ready to move to Florida. I'm over it.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I mean, I love the videos that came out in New York after like the snow stuff. It was melting, and then you saw the poop on the ground. And I'm like, oh God.
Oh yeah.
What the hell is that? I don't know. Oh, I just got something thrown over the transom at me. Saudi Arabia is apparently joining the fight against Iran.
Ooh.
boy.
Yeah, it's over for the IRGC.
Give
Because
it up, man.
yeah.
It's over.
one of the missiles we talked about earlier. Like they sent the missile to, I think it was somewhere in Saudi Arabia that it hit.
Oh yes, yeah, it hit in Dubai.
Like, could you just imagine like everybody gets taken out. All of the IRGC's leadership gets taken out, and the first thing that happens is,
And boy, can they fly planes, y'all, in Saudi Arabia.
oh my God!
Yeah, they have a good Air Force, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, actually they do. Even the
know.
Crown Prince, from what I remember, flies.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
And,
Biting off a little more than they could chew over there in Iran.
Well, I mean, look, they really did, and they don't know our capabilities clearly. And we've sent everything from a dozen, F-22 Raptors to all kinds of stuff, much less the stealth bombers that have been over there. They had no clue what they were getting.
We have F-22s, F-35s, and black Doritos. Okay, what did Apaches? Yeah, like Les Grossman said. I think that was his name in Tropic Thunder. We will fuck you up. Okay.
Oh yeah,
black
I got a
Doritos are
cousin.
spicy,
He's an
man.
Apache helicopter pilot.
Very. Yeah. What are those? The one chip challenge. Is that what it is? The hot chip to the Pockies or something like that. Yeah, that's the black Doritos. That's
black Doritos are
spicy from the sky.
They do look like Doritos.
You look at it, it's like, wait a minute.
Don't tell Kennedy that though. Kennedy doesn't like Doritos. He really doesn't.
RFK Jr. Oh God.
I know. No, but I want to thank you
aspartame.
guys. I do. I want to thank you boys for having me on. Anytime you need a third, you want a chick's point of view who's not a feminazi.
Please,
Call me.
absolutely.
You know what we should do? We should have Kay on with Evan one day, so you can do some insider baseball. Insider baseball.
We gotta make that happen. We gotta
She's
make
a former Democrat strategist. She's the one that famously she's got a book coming out too, like a tell-all about the Democrats.
And
she's the one that
you gotta have her.
We gotta make that happen.
You have got to have
no. We gotta have them on. Don't get them together. It's got to be on our platform, bro.
You know what? Absolutely.
That's my idea,
I'm happy to play.
Credit is all yours, but no. I want. Listen,
that's
Evan Barker. Evan Barker is the queen apostate. Okay, she's one of ours. She's been with us almost since the very beginning.
Okay, so she's not a feminist.
What's that?
No.
Is she a feminist? A lot of there are conservative women who are feminists.
I mean, maybe she would define her, like an old school kind of feminist. It's not, she's a mom and everything.
Oh, I could knock that out of her.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. She might. I think she would say no. She doesn't identify like that.
No,
but she has she's the one that famously, I think, with Newsweek and the Free Press wrote articles saying that, like, right, like, what was it, the 2024 election, like a month before. She said, "I'm leaving the Democrat Party. They represent the elites," and did like a tell-all. And now she's got a book coming out. So, and she just had another article about it again, talk about her book. So she's she's become a serious figure because of that, and of course, a focus for hate from the Democrats. Right? She's a traitor to them.
I'm used to that too.
Yeah,
they love me.
We got to schedule these two, man.
We do. You know what?
Very interesting conversations.
Yeah. You know what? Well, let's try to set something up in April. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Kay. God,
thank you, Kev.
Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
It's an honor to be with you guys. It really
thank
is.
you.
I think the world of Isaiah already, and now I'm a fan of you too, Nick.
Oh, thank you, Kay. That's really sweet. I'm a fan of yours as well. And I'm very inspired by what you said at the end too about, like, you could make a difference even though it looks really tough, like in New York City where there's like 5 Republicans and there's no funding at all. But it's like, you never know. Maybe you get a Donnie kind of star that's like but in a conservative side that's able to, like, be people. You know what? He's right. This guy's right about this. Maybe somebody like Isaiah or something like that in New York City, or he just gives a fiery speech, and then people are like, all right.
Isaiah. Now, what did I say earlier? Okay, Wrong people who should not run do, and the people
Right.
who
That's right.
don't want to run don't, and those are the right people. I'm telling you.
Maybe we'll see one day. Maybe
if I ever were to run, and I'm just throwing this out there because I'm not a New York native. If I were to run, it would be back in Maryland, because Maryland's my home state. I grew up, born and raised there. Like I would actually want to. I know, but it's,
maybe one day. Yeah.
People keep asking. People keep telling me, like, "Oh my God, I think you should run." I'm like,
I mean, Mom Donnie's from Uganda, so.
I mean, look, I basically ran in North Carolina because, well, my husband's a native North Carolinian, and people asked me to because the two men who were in the race were too afraid to go up against this chick who is a rhino Republican. I know how to get rhinos out. And
you're a rhino poacher.
I am.
There you go.
I am. Oh my God, Mother Jones went nuts. So did the rest of the left-wing journalist folks, because I had an ad in which I shot a shotgun.
Oh, come on!
Kind of
They
shotgun
said I was
was it?
rhino hunting, but
What kind of shotgun was it? Was it a Mossberg?
Oh, it was bad. It was bad, y'all. Although what was worse, I did not know that apparently girls, conservative women in particular, with guns, it's a fetish. Who knew?
A fetish.
It is.
For who? For guys? Or?
Yeah, apparently so.
Oh yeah.
I had no clue.
I can see that.
I've seen it. I've seen some of it. It's like, okay.
I mean, guns are a fetish for a lot of guys. So
now I understand.
Add an attractive woman with it. Yeah, come on.
I understand why G. Gordon Liddy wanted me in his calendar with guns and but I was always too pregnant.
Oh my God, I forgot about G. Gordon Liddy and his calendars. Oh my!
I know he kept asking me to be in it, but I was always very, very pregnant when he asked me. So no. No.
Oh my God. Well, before you go, Monkey Trump 24 said, "I can see Isaiah now yelling at Dems in the house. If y'all lost your fucking mind."
That's what we need. But here's the difference.
Is reputation that bad?
No, Monkey Trump, listen. I will tell you, there's two different kinds, particularly in the House and Senate. There's workhorses and show horses. And sometimes there's the rare unicorn that's a combination. I think Isaiah would be that rare unicorn of a combination, because we need folks like that who understand the media, but also are substantive.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. That's very kind.
No, it's true.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it. Kay, thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank you, Kay. Thanks for being with us.
Your evening. We'll talk to you soon.
Enjoy that beautiful weather.
Exactly. Good night.
Good night. She's great. She's such a delightful woman.
Bro.
What a story.
True story. Yo, what a
that's so I'm so glad she's still in good spirits about it and hopeful, because that is a really devastating thing to go through.
Isn't it?
I mean, that's so brutal.
Yo, when she called me about it, because we talked, like I said, we talked like Thursday or Friday, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, no, you've got like I want you to please tell this story on the show so that other, for obviously, because most people probably haven't heard it. Exactly. So,
I mean, was it a famous story otherwise? Like, did she put an article out or anything like that? Or like got a little bit of national attention? Or has it just been like on her podcast talking about it or something?
I think that,
because I never heard about this before.
I'm not terribly sure. But I'll ask her next time. And listen, we're gonna have her on a lot. Kay is one of us.
No question.
And real quick, before I get to my rant for the night, shout to Sharmila Viswasam. Young lady is I've known her for about 30 some years. We went to elementary school together. The 1 year I went to outside school in second grade was when I scored my first goal playing soccer, and when I met Sharmila. If it was not for Sharmila, I would not have met Kay Daly. So I want to make sure I give proper credit where it's due. Sharmila, I love you. Thank you for introducing me to Kay.
When did you meet her?
Who, Kay?
Yeah.
Sometime last year. It was right after the video that went super viral.
Okay.
And cool. That was what it was. It was right after. It was like probably about a month or two after I went on with Alex Jones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
You met her in public, or
no? I haven't met Kay in public yet.
Oh, okay.
I haven't met her in person. Yeah, I haven't met her in person yet. But that's going to happen soon. Kay's a real one.
She keeps inviting us down to St. Thomas, man.
Yo, I'm going.
Don't do that, man. Don't invite me. I'll get a plane ticket. I'll be there. I'll sleep on the couch.
I would do that immediately.
Especially right now. Oh my God, man.
Bro.
Had it. I mean, at least it's gotten a little warmer lately, but I had it with the snow, man. I can't stand looking at it anymore.
Dude, people wonder why I hate snow so much. It's because you can't fucking move in it. You can't move in it. You can't drive in it.
You can't run in the grass. Like I like to run in the grass. Sometimes kick the ball around or something. Go to the park. My daughter. It's like I can't even do any of that. I can't do any of that right now.
Exactly.
You're just stuck in the house, walking on the streets. That's it.
Yeah, it's just like, I gotta it's depressing. The snow is depressing. I mean, unless you're a cokehead and there's all sorts of white stuff all over the place, just like, you know what I'm saying?
So they're trying to snort the snow.
Right, exactly. Oh God. And here, you know what? Here go another one.
What's going on now?
Gabby Clark. It's perfect.
Come on, Gabby.
You know
Gulf of America. At least she said the Gulf of America.
Please. You know what? No, she down in Texas. I think she's in Galveston, which is south of Houston.
Sure, Gabby, it's nice over there.
Gabby, I love you too, girl. That's all I'm gonna say.
Because love you, Gabby.
You think you funny.
She's kind of funny, actually.
No. Yeah, I love Gabby. Gabby.
That was funny.
Yeah. And she go, Laporte. That's what she is. She's saying right now. Laporte. No.
Laporte. Okay. All right.
I got a bit of I got something I gotta get off my chest real quick. Brandon Scott, the mayor of Baltimore. What? Are you kidding? What? Hold on. Yo, we got breaking news.
What's going on?
We got breaking news. Hold on. I gotta pull this up. Because I just saw this. I was looking for. I started to look for something, and then as soon as I see it, it's like, what? Hold on. Is this it? Is this in here? Hold on, man. Let me. I think this. Yep, this is it, dude. Breaking news from what appears to be
no.
Hezbollah leader assassinated 10 minutes. 10 minutes after announcing entry into the war. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yo, would you everybody shut the fuck up in the Middle East, man? Like all of you, like all of Iran's proxies need to find a new fucking job, man. Stop being proxies.
Dude, don't
focus on your futures, focus on your own lives, wash your face, get your mind right, focus on your kids. Like your communities
off your heads,
change your turban. Change your turban, you powder it up, clean it up, get a new one, get a new look, man. Like this is like, stop worrying about Iran. Like, leave them alone. You don't need to get popped. You don't need to get popped after making a video on social media. You don't need to be doing this. 10 minutes later,
dude.
Jesus Christ.
Ali Khamenei's son got murked. He's supposed to be the successor. Oh my Lord.
No, that Succession would have been if Succession, the show Succession was about the fucking Ayatollah and his kids, man. That would have been a short ass fucking show, man.
I know, right? Like
that would have been a short show.
3 episodes.
That might have been one episode.
It'd have been an OVA on Crunchyroll or some shit.
It would have been a 15-minute episode on YouTube.
Real quick, Billy
Stop
Beck.
playing with him.
Billy Beck, Mr. B, a good friend of mine. I need to get upstate to go see him. He writes, in order to completely understand U.S. politics, an American must spend at least one night in jail. As says, wherever he gives a quote from Solzhenitsyn. He says, wherever the law is, crime can be found.
I bet.
I mean, listen. What was it? Show me the man. Show me the crime. Show me the man. I'll show you the crime, or something like. I forget how that.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
Okay, let me get to this. Brandon Scott, the mayor of my hometown of Baltimore. Lord have mercy. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? I've known Brandon for about going on 15, 20 years. Okay. I've known him a long time. I've avoided saying I've avoided like my harshest criticisms of him because like I do consider him a bit of a friend, like a distant friend, like not somebody he's somebody like an acquaintance, right? But he wrote something that was absolutely ridiculous, and I wanted to go over that. I wanted to go over that a little bit and talk about this because it's like, bro, like at some point. Hold on. Did I? Where did it go that fast? Is this it? No. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. There we go. Let me just. I lost track of the window. Here we go. Brandon Scott wrote this yesterday. He said Trump is a liar and a chaos agent. He's never been anti-war or pro-public safety. He's choosing to cause, listen to the reversal. He's choosing to cause violence in our city streets and across the globe because he's failing on his promises to bring down prices and invest in communities. Only about himself, never about you. Bro. You really ought not be talking about anybody when you have so many issues right now going on in your city.
Violence in city streets, man. Come on. That's a Democrat specialty. That's what they provide. Yeah.
Listen, we grew up. Listen, Brandon's a little older than I am. Well, I actually think he might be a little younger than I am, about like a year or two. We grew up. I'm 43. We grew up in the era where there was 300 murders a year on a regular basis. Like in the 90s, you know, Baltimore had 300 murders on a regular. It was
you had Avon Barksdale, Stringer Bell.
That was before that. That was before Stringer Bell and all that. Listen, the amount of street cred that I get from just saying I'm from Baltimore here in New York. Bro, I just off the wire. Everybody's like, yo, like what? Oh, you from the wire? You from the home of the wire, bro? Like they don't want the smoke.
Yeah, they don't want the smoke.
It's like the one place crazier than the Bronx. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You might
love
get
you,
smoked by
you, Green. Love you. No, my wife grew up in the Bronx. I'm not trying to get beat up on camera, okay? But anyways, Brandon, you are not the one to be talking about to be complaining about Trump investing in communities. You are not the one, bro. I was just in Baltimore last week. Well, not the week before last. Because my parents still live in the city. One of my brothers still lives in the city. Dude, there are potholes throughout town. I can rattle off at least 5 of the streets that I traveled on that were garbage.
Potholes are the only pots that people could piss in Baltimore, man.
Yeah, basically. You got potholes everywhere. Okay? You got streets in Baltimore that look like they haven't been repaved in years. You have been mayor of this city for almost 10 years, if I remember correctly. You are in no position to be getting on Trump. This is what happens. This is what I've been trying to tell y'all. When your hatred of one person, when your hatred of one man is so strong that anything they say they're for, you have to be against. You hang on to every word that man says and everything that he does. And meanwhile, what's going on? Your own life, your own city's in shambles. Bro, you bought a Jeep Grand Wagoneer with $160,000 in city funds.
How long do you think that car is gonna last with all the potholes?
About 6 months, because it's a Jeep. It's a Grand Wagoneer. They're garbage. He bought a series. He bought like a Series 2.
Come on,
the
Danny.
car. Like we're talking about the car's price. The car's stickered for 110, 120 because Stellantis are fucking crazy. They're like, oh, well, we're gonna charge this much for. Dude, you're charging Escalade prices for a truck that's gonna be in the shop most of the fucking year. And you used city money to pay for it. You've been blocking.
No.
You've been blocking investigations by your like there's like an inspector general that it's like independent investigator. You've been blocking your independent investigators from looking into all of the fraud and all of the corruption that's going in. Your wife took like almost $200,000 from the feds. My guy, you're not the one. The streets in Baltimore are messed up. You can't, like, you've got bike lane, the plastic bike lane stanchions all over the place. Harbor Place. I'm old enough to remember when Harbor Place was brand new. They had shops in Harbor Place called the Fudgery, right? The Fudgery was famous for guys who could sing. For men and women, for young black men and young black women, the Fudgery was places where if you sang really good, right, they let you come on. They let you, you would make fudge and sing. And you know how many famous artists, famous singers started at the Fudgery? Drew Hill. Drew Hill worked at the Fudgery.
That's what's up.
Fudgery's gone now. Been gone for several years.
No, Fudgery ain't gone, bro. Fudgery ain't gone. Fudgery is about to be the name of Don Lemon's prison cell. So.
Oh my God.
That's a new Fudgery.
Oh God. Oh no.
That was a joke.
Don Lemon.
Anyways. I'm sorry. Go ahead. The Fudgery. Drew Hill.
There's nothing in Harbor Place anymore. There's nothing in Harbor Place. There was this really nice bakery that was there. They did these really good like turkey sausage biscuit sandwiches. I remember it because a couple years ago when I went, took some great pictures from Harbor Place. The Harbor Place is desolate. There's nothing there. Cheesecake Factory. Everybody knows who Cheesecake Factory is. They got menus they're like 300-page fucking menus. The Cheesecake Factory was like one of the anchor restaurants. You could never get a table in there.
And now Brandon Scott outsourced the Cheesecake Factory, to China.
Probably. I remember when downtown Baltimore was You had ESPN Zone back in the day. There was that big Barnes and Noble bookstore in the power plant. You had Power Plant Live, where all the white folk from Anne Arundel County and from Baltimore County, the surrounding areas, they would come up there to party. Power Plant Live still there, but downtown Baltimore used to be a destination. You had tourists that would come down there for the harbor, for the Science Center, for the National Aquarium. Like, there was good stuff there. Brandon, the city is falling apart, yo. And you out here complaining about what Trump doing? Brandon, listen to me good, bro.
Let me guess, Brandon, you need more money. Let me guess, you need more funds, right?
You're not getting, listen, between you and Westmore, between you and the governor, and I know both of you. I remember when Westmore used to hang out at Artifact Coffee over there in Hamden. I remember that was where I met him several times. I never thought he would run for governor. I never thought he'd get elected governor. Y'all out here spending money on Ravens games and Orioles games. You spending tens of thousands of dollars at Ravens and Orioles games for what? I get y'all want to, be in the spotlight, right? Y'all want to be ambassadors for the city. I get it. And shout to you for the project. And I'll give you credit, because the things you're doing with DC United in bringing soccer to Baltimore, again, chef's kiss. But bruh, you are not the one to be talking. And I'm gonna tell you this before we go. The Key Bridge is still out. Remember a couple years ago when a barge with a bunch of Indian sailors ran right into the side of the Key Bridge, brought the whole thing down, killed 6 workers who were on the bridge.
The hell, Brandon?
The Key Bridge is still out.
Fix that bridge, Brandon Scott.
You got like 690. The bridge, the Key Bridge connects the I-695, the Baltimore Beltway. Okay, it is a main. It is a bridge. Like if you couldn't get like if you had trucks that were coming from the South, okay, like coming from Virginia and all that, right? The Key Bridge used to be the quick way for large trucks to go over, like to get to I-95 when they didn't want to go through the Fort McHenry Tunnel, okay? Because the Fort McHenry Tunnel, I don't know if you've driven through Baltimore, but it's a bit of it can be tough driving through downtown Baltimore, okay? That alternative route is gone unless you go around the other side of the Beltway. You're hurting businesses. You're keeping business. You're holding businesses up from making money, unless that's what you want.
It's communists like doing that.
Communists love that shit.
Yeah.
You got Zoran down in New York City, chasing businesses out. You had, and Eric Adams, I still got to hold you accountable because the bike lane thing, it's hollowing out businesses in Manhattan and elsewhere. So again, but I'm gonna come back to Brandon Scott. My brother, you are not the one to be going after, to be talking about Trump when our city is messed up the way it is. There's still a lot of crime. There's still a lot of drama. There's still a lot of bullshit going on. Kids still can't read. Kids still can't read, still can't write, still can't do math. Saw a video a couple weeks ago about kids coming out of Patterson High School, going storming Eastern Avenue right above on the I-95 overpass. You got kids talking about fuck ICE and holding all sorts of signs and stuff. Why are kids doing that? Why are kids in Baltimore doing that? But when they still can't read, they still can't write, they still can't do math. Why are you stealing these children's education, Brandon?
Are people paying taxes to indoctrinate kids to be Maoist radicals?
Yeah.
Red Guard, is that what the money is, Brandon? That's what you guys are using for education money?
James Lindsay called out the Marxification of education, wrote a whole book on it, shout to the Grandmaster, and then wrote a book with Logan Lansing, Grandmaster,
just on last week,
of the American child.
That's right.
So it's not like there aren't things out there.
Is that what you're about, Brandon?
But Brandon, my brother, bro, get your shit together. Get your shit together. I've had it. My hometown looks like garbage.
Fix that bridge.
And fix the bridge. Fix
the potholes.
I'm serious.
Bike lanes.
I'm seriously at the point now where I hate Democrats. I am at the point where I hate them because honestly, there is one political party when it comes to black folk. There is one political party that has become fully hostile to us and to our interests. And it is the party that we've been voting for in the 90th percentile for 60 some years. And it starts with those of you who run the blue cities and the blue states. Fuck you. I hate you too, Master Shake. Talk about I hate Baltimore. Fuck you.
Master Shake, fuck you, Master Shake.
I can talk about Baltimore because I was born and raised there. My family still lives there. No.
Fucking
no. We not doing
prick. What a prick. Where are you from, Master Shake?
South Jersey Shore or wherever the fuck. He's probably from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Asshole. Anyway,
asshole.
Like, again,
we love you, Master Shake. It's all right.
Like, I have. Like, it hurts me, man, because again, like Baltimore is a Baltimore right now. It's like you ever seen an apartment or a house that has like great bones? Like you could tell, like at one point, like if you ever been in a dilapidated house or a house that hasn't been renovated in a while, you could see like the fucking thing's got great bones. When with a little bit of work, like that's how I view Baltimore City. Baltimore City is probably the epicenter of the deindustrialization of the state of Maryland. I've talked about the steel mills.
A lot of examples of that in this country, man.
Yeah, I've talked about the steel mills that were there that employed generations of Baltimoreans, and how they're going.
How's a longshoreman doing over there?
I mean, Port of Baltimore still going,
still running like I used to be. Okay.
Well, sure. I mean, like they're
not finding hookers in the containers anymore.
Bro, look, the wire was real shit, but the point is, but no, the Port of Baltimore, as far as I know, is still going on, still going strong. But the bottom line,
still there.
What's that?
The Greek's still there drinking coffee.
That's in Highlandtown. All the Greeks are in Highlandtown. Shout to Taxi.
No, the Greek was the mafia guy that was by the dock at the harbor.
I don't know.
He was the old guy.
It's been so long since I've watched The Wire. It's so long since I watched The Wire. I've got to.
I'm sorry, I'm nerding out. Every time I hear Baltimore, all I can think about is The Wire.
You and everyone else, dude. Like I'm serious. Like,
I love The Wire. I love it. I love that show.
The Wire was one of the greatest shows ever made. The Wire is one of the greatest shows ever made.
Top two for me. It might be number one.
And David Simon, if he wasn't a raging white leftist prick these days, I'd have probably wanted to shake his hand or have him on the show. He wouldn't talk
anyways. We'll just talk The Wire. We'll just talk The Wire.
Well, yeah. Well, of course. I mean, I would love to talk to like. I remember like a couple of guys that I used to know. I used to know Clark, the actor Clark Peters, who played Lester Freeman. I knew, I knew him.
Lester,
I knew him. I met Dominic West. Like The Wire was such an integral part of Baltimore. Like it really raised Baltimore's profile nationally across the country.
100%.
Granted,
it's a big show, man.
For the wrong reasons, but
there's probably a lot of truth in it, right?
Oh, there was tons of it, and the series that came out
So.
before it, The Corner was where people really got to understand what Baltimore was all about. But the thing is, Baltimore is, and maybe we need to have Logic back because Logic still lives in Baltimore.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And like I would love to just have him on and talk to him. Fuck
Yeah.
you, Shaq.
Wait, what did he say? No. What did he say?
Yeah, I think the best thing about Baltimore and The Wire, and that's a show about how shitty Baltimore is.
That's your comment, bro?
You know,
Come on, Shake. You can do better than that. What kind of comment was this? That was a dumb comment, bro. That was not.
You know,
the best thing about Baltimore. I mean, is about The Wire and Baltimore. Come on, dude.
Yeah, like, but see, here's the thing.
Better than that.
I know he's one of Carlin's henchmen.
I think he's one of our henchmen now, man. He's on every goddamn week for last year, man.
Maybe.
He's one of the guys that hangs off our nuts now. He's one of our crabs.
Exactly. But the thing is though, dude, like Brandon, I'm just gonna sum it up like this. You have way too much going on. Crab cakes,
It's one of those cangrejos.
What's better about Baltimore than The Wire? Crab cakes, you dick. Crab cakes.
Isaiah too. Isaiah's pretty good.
Smith Island cake that you can get in Baltimore. Asshole. The Ravens. Yes, I'm a Baltimore Ravens. I'm a Baltimore Ravens.
Big seasons, man. Yeah, big seasons, bro.
Yeah. Oh, lol. That's fake news. No. Go to Coco's Pub, Jimmy's or Jimmy's Seafood Factory.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Like exactly. Like.
Come on, bro.
There's Coco's Pub, Jimmy's Famous Seafood. Shout to the Mina Dacus family. I just found out Jimmy's follows me. I would love to have you on. I would love to have any of the Jimmy's seafood guys, because they went after. They're always going after like PETA, the people for the quote unquote ethical treatment of animals. They always going after them. But Brandon, I love you, brother. I do. Even like this me right here. I didn't think I'd ever have a platform like this to say the things that I do, and I thank God for this every day. But my brother, you got to tighten up, because what's eventually going to happen is these white leftists that you keep pandering to, these white leftists that you keep handing over more and more of the city to, and I know about what's going on in Harbor Place. You are about to hand over Harbor Place to them people and turn Federal Hill and turn the Inner Harbor. You're going to turn that into a Zoom call backdrop for these white folks with them towers you planning on building. Don't do that. Do not rob Baltimore of Harbor Place in the gallery. Do not do that. Do not do that. Please do better for the city, pal. And with that, that's our show tonight. Yo, thank you so much.
Carcetti for mayor, man. Carcetti for mayor next. Carcetti's back, bro. I'm supporting Carcetti. If you don't turn this around, Brandon Scott, is it Brandon Scott? Is that his name?
Yeah.
If you don't turn this around, Carcetti, man. He's got the full support of Apostate Radio.
You know what's fucked up? You know what's crazy? We actually had Carcetti as a mayor, and his name was Martin O'Malley.
Oh yeah, really? Is that what he's based off of?
Yes, Martin O'Malley. What's that?
Was he based off of Martin O'Malley?
He was indeed.
Because I remember the show, it was like, it's impossible. He's a white guy. No way he's going to get elected in Baltimore.
And he got elected. Yeah, he got elected, I think, for a couple terms.
That's funny.
And then he got elected governor. Martin O'Malley got elected governor, and then I don't know what happened. I heard
can Carcetti get elected governor too?
I don't think so. I think the series ended before Carcetti.
Yeah, I think it wasn't like concluded yet. I think it just showed that she had ambitions to do it. That was the next step or something. Yeah.
Because The Wire, I'm serious. The Wire could have fucked around, because The Wire was derived from. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's Law and Order. I'm thinking the Wire could have ended up being like fucking like a Law and Order spinoff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they could have gone on forever. Especially
They'd always found stories.
Every season was great. I mean, it wasn't getting worse. It was just you could have kept going.
One of my favorite characters though was Omar Little.
Oh, of course, classic.
And rest in peace to Michael K. Williams.
Oh yeah, rest in peace. He's great. He's great. I loved him in Boardwalk Empire too.
Actor, yeah. What was his name in Boardwalk Empire?
Chalky White, I think.
Chalky White, right? Yeah.
You see that? Did you see that series? The whole series?
I never saw Boardwalk Empire, but I met Michael K. Williams.
You should watch it, bro.
I met Michael K. Williams several times, man. That was a real ass dude. And Michael, I remember. I'll never forget one of the first times I met him was at Eden's Lounge, the old Eden's Lounge in the Mount Vernon section, right on Eager Street. And I remember meeting him. I dapped him up. I said, bro, I respect everything that you're doing out here. Stay strong. Thank you for repping. Thank you for your great performance of Omar. It was like he was a really, really, really talented actor. And I'm so sorry he died the way he did.
I'm trying to remember that whistle. No, he was great. He was absolutely great.
Yeah,
he's great as Chalky, dude. You gotta watch Boardwalk Empire. That's a great show. Do you like mafia shit, like mafia movies type stuff, mafia shows, like Scorsese type things?
Yeah. The only show that I would like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm so jaded against that whole Ben Affleck, Matt Damon team up. That's why I never watched any Scorsese movies. Like what was it? The Town, I think it was.
Departed was awesome.
I heard that movie. I gotta watch that.
Well, that's a great movie. And it's like really stressful. And Leo's in it, and I think Matt Damon. Yeah, but dude, Boardwalk Empire is awesome because it's also he's a big part of it. Omar, what's his name again? What's his real name?
Michael Kenneth Williams.
Michael K. Williams. That's right.
Michael K. Williams. Yeah.
Michael K. Williams. Yeah, he's phenomenal. He plays, and it's a historical piece, and during a time, super historical. So it's like the costumes, everything's like beautiful. It's like Gangs of New York kind of thing, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it wasn't just about the Atlantic City mob, though. It was also involved the Italian mob in New York City, the big Maserati, the Big Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And then it showed the beginnings of Lucky Luciano and Meyer Lansky. It goes deep into that. It goes Al Capone's in there, as a young man, like when they're young, and then it shows them grow up in power, and everything runs through Jersey in a lot of ways, but and there's also Remus. I think George Remus, who was like he was like a Philadelphia guy or something like that. But it has like major historical figures in there. But it's awesome. Like it's like a time machine. So that's one reason why I love it. It's like not just is it like really good drama. It's like a Scorsese time machine. And Chalky White is a major character throughout the series. He's like one of the main charters.
Oh wow. Well, you know what? I'll check it out. Boardwalk,
like the 1920s.
Yeah. It's so cool. There's another series I want to watch that's similar to that, and that's Peaky Blinders. I've been interested in that.
I like Peaky Blinders is great. Boardwalk Empire is better, I think. So yeah. One thing I don't like about Peaky Blinders,
I'll be the judge of that.
yeah, sure. I mean, Peaky Blinders is good. Peaky Blinders is good, but one thing I don't like about Peaky Blinders is they play like modern music with the scenes, which I don't like. Like they'll play like some like newer like, because it's like, was it probably around the 1920s itself in Birmingham, something like that. Yeah, 20s probably, the 10s, 20s, 30s. It's great. It's a great show, but it kind of threw me out. Like Boardwalk Empire plays old music from that time. It plays like ragtime and jazz from the 20s and that stuff, and like blues, like old black blues and stuff. And Chalky like talks like a slave, kind of like it's very like old school. Like some of these guys were like the kids, sons of slaves and stuff like that. It's like the 19-teens, 1920s, and the 30s. So it's a time that isn't really ever. It's not really shown that much in cinema. So it's really interesting. It's like a time machine to that era, those decades.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's something I'm going to show you off air.
Okay, yeah.
That's why I was going, because I was looking to close some tabs on here. But that's our show tonight, guys. I really appreciate everybody stopping in. Shout to Kay Daly, shout to Jack Daly for being a fucking trooper for this country.
Yeah. Yes,
and really like for all the stuff that he went through, and all the lawfare and everything. This was a fantastic show. We thank you all for joining us. Next week, we are having Courtney Turner. Look at the come on,
Mr. Shake, man. Wait a second. Just because you're too goddamn stupid.
You're just
to understand how the show works and to be able to watch a story that's not just firing guns the entire time doesn't mean Boardwalk Empire was born.
Jesus Christ, hey, Michael. Well, Michael Lindsay is. Have you ever watched the show Squidbillies?
No, I never. I don't know Squidbillies. Is that Adult Swim or something? I think it's Adult Swim.
That is indeed.
I've never seen it. Is it good?
That was a classic.
Okay.
Oh my God, Squidbillies was oof.
All right.
Adult. You know what? Adult, dude. We could talk all day. We could have a whole show about Adult Swim.
We should. We should do some,
and all of the shows that came from there. But
we do some pop culture conversation sometimes. Maybe like on the side or whatever. Yeah, maybe
about anime.
Yeah, I don't know anime. Only anime I know is Dragon Ball Z. I know pretty damn well. I don't know if there's much else anime I really know. Pokemon. I've seen that when I was younger, like little.
Oh my God, Nino. Okay.
But I know that there's some good. I know that there's some good anime. I know. Okay. I got to see Evangelion. I heard was really good. And
okay, yeah. I'm gonna give you a suggestion. Okay, one that I think you might actually like, and take me up on this. Just watch the first episode. Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan. Matter of fact, I'm glad we're still live. Attack on Titan was one of the greatest anime series I have ever watched.
Is it adult oriented? If it's adult oriented, I can watch it.
Very much so.
Okay.
Dude, take my word for it. Find it on a streaming service. I think
Attack on Titan. Okay.
Attack on Titan. I'm telling you right now, it is that the show. When I watched through it, like especially like the first couple seasons, I'm just like, craziest story I've ever watched. Like, because I was like you, because I've been a Dragon Ball Z guy, Dragon Ball GT. I just finished watching like Dragon Ball Super. I should get into Bleach. I have not gotten into Bleach yet. Solo Leveling is another one that I absolutely love. But no, I'm not going to summarize the show for what? Go watch it. Go watch it.
Jake, we think about all day to summarize shit, man. You ever heard of Wikipedia, bro?
Attack on Titan. Exactly.
Ask ChatGPT, man. That was this shit.
Grok, for fuck's sake. Honestly.
For fuck's sake.
Honestly. Attack on Titan. I'm like Nino, please.
Clown ass.
You will love it. We had
I'll look into it.
But I will give him credit for this. This is a good one too. Afro Samurai. But watch Afro Samurai after Attack on Titan. Dead serious, bro. Like I'm telling you, if you really
I know there's a lot of good anime.
Afro Samurai. Samuel L. Jackson is the main character.
Okay. That could be good.
Bro. Afro Samurai is crazy. But I'm telling you, Attack on Titan first, then Afro Samurai to get you started. Okay. That's our show tonight. Folks, thank y'all for joining us. Courtney Turner next week. We'll see you then.
All right, bye.